Hey there and welcome back to Tube Guruji channel. Today we are going to build a MERN stack application completely from the scratch. And this application we gonna build it with the help of MongoDB, Express, React and the Node.js. Okay. So if you don't know about the MERN stack and you never use MERN stack in your application, don't worry because in this particular course I'm gonna teach you everything from the basic. So before talking about the technologies, let's walk through the application and let's discuss what we are going to build today. So if you see on the screen right now, here this is a social panda application you can call, and here user can enter or put their thoughts. They can put a comment, even they like the comment as well. Okay, but before if you want to add a post, you need to sign in to this application. Okay, so let's get started to sign in with this application. So with the help of clerk, we are going to add authentication in our application, and boom, if you see now you have option to create a post or to add a post inside your application. Okay, so let's try and let's go ahead to add the post. So I will say subscribe to Tube Guruji channel. Okay guys, if you did not subscribe, please do subscribe to channel. And if I publish this post, if you see this beautiful toast message, it's showing on the screen. So in order to use this kind of UI, we are going to use chat.cn. Okay, and if you see here, our post is get published with the time, beautiful user profile images and everything. Okay, now you have option to add a comment as well. Okay, and if you want to like the post, you can like it. If I want to like this post, if I press like and you see boom, it get like, you will get this beautiful red color heart icon. Okay, and not only this but this count get changed immediately without refreshing the screen. Okay, now let's go ahead and add a comment. So here I will add hey, this is beautiful. Okay, or this is awesome. And if I hit publish or send, see it get commented. You will see this beautiful toast message, and if you see here the comment get added and it's showing the count of as a one comment. If you want to see comment, just click on it and here you have option to see all the comment for this particular post. Okay, now you have option to delete the comment from here. Okay, and if you delete this comment, you will get this message that comment is get deleted now. Okay, so this is how beautiful we can implement this complete application from the scratch. Okay, now you can even like other posts, and if you see some of the posts I already like and it's showing that okay, you already like this post. If you want to dislike, just click on it and it will dislike the post. See, okay, so do how beautifully it's reflecting immediately on the screen. Okay, so guys, everything which we are going to build is completely from the scratch, and this application is responsive. Okay, if I decrease size, see how responsive it is. Okay, and mobile view is different on the tab on the desktop is completely different. Okay, and this is how you can see the navigation bar. You can go on any of the page and you can build this complete application responsive. Okay, so for that one we are going to chat.cn. Obviously we are also using tailwind css to make this application and add the styling. We are going to use express, node.js and mongodb to build our backend api. Okay, and if you never use mongodb before and do you know and if you don't know how to connect mongodb with our application, don't worry, we are going to learn everything from the basic. Okay, we will also learn how to use compass application with the mongodb to see our database, the collection and everything. And if you see on the left hand side here, we will also learn how can we connect each of this collection, how to refer it, and how to get the data from the nested documents or collection. Okay, everything we gonna learn in this particular course. Okay, so this course is completely beginner friendly, and if you really want to learn MERN stack application, so this course is for you guys. Okay, so guys, press the like button, share this with your friends and family, and please do subscribe to my channel. Okay, so let's get started now. In order to create a React project, we are going to use Next.js, as our framework. Okay, so Next.js is one of the best React framework currently in the market, and it's very easy and make our full stack application to develop very easy and seamlessly. Okay, so obviously right now we are not going to create the project from the command line because I already have the starter template, okay, which is obviously based on the Next.js. So the link of the starter project is in the description, so you can just clone this GitHub repository. So go ahead and then copy this repo, okay, or you can just download the zip file, and then go to your desired folder where you want to put this project. Okay, so I will open the terminal at that particular location, and I will just clone this repo, okay, using git clone and paste that particular link. Okay, so it will clone the repository C. Okay, now close this one and open the VS code and locate the folder where you just created this particular project. So in my case, it's in the projects Next.js React and then social common stack package. Okay, so in this particular Next.js, it already have the ShatCN install. Okay, so if you don't know about the ShatCN, okay, ShatCN is one of the most popular UI library. Okay, and it's very easy to use and easy to install. If you want to know how to install it, just go to this documentation, and within few commands you can install it. So obviously for the Next.js we are installing it. Okay, so just go ahead and install it, but in this starter project it's already there, so you don't need to install manually again. Okay, and let me go back here, and if I go to this packet.json, you will see some of the things. Okay, so I already have clerk, you guys okay, but I will tell you how to use it. Okay, then we are using MongoDB mongoose. Okay, we don't need it here. Okay, so I will remove that one, and I think pretty much is there. Okay, so just save this one and open the terminal inside the VS code and just type npm I, okay, or install. So it will install all this dependency and it will create a node module folder C. Okay, so it means it will install all the dependency. Now let's run the project using the npm run start. Oh, sorry, npm run dev. Okay, and if you see, it opened the port localhost 3000. Okay, and now just open this localhost 3000 port on the web browser, and if you see right now nothing is seeing on the screen, because if I go to this page.js, which is the very starting point of the application, it's completely empty. Okay, let's type something, say home, and if I save it, now if you see, home is showing. Okay, now let me go back to our folder structure and let me explain what is in this particular starter project. Okay, so inside the app folder we have utils folder which contains the global API. Okay, so NextJs sample NextJs client is get created. Okay, and this is the server which we are going to create soon. Then we have this menu list. Okay, which contains home, tools, settings, community. Okay, which is the side navigation. Okay, I will show you in moment. Then in the routes, okay, inside the routes folder, so if you see this file name, right, I give the underscore utils so that it will Next.js will not consider it as a route. Okay, and same thing with this bracket as well. And inside this route, I created the route called home. Okay, and inside the home we have this page.js file, okay, which showing this banner and whatever the component related to that particular screen, I kept inside the folder called underscore component. Okay, same thing for this default layout, right, for this all the routes inside this particular route folder, we are going to use this route.js file, and inside that one, if you see all this code is get have some beautiful documentation. So these are the side navigation which we added. Okay, some header also is there. I will show it to you. And this is the basic layout.js and page.js. Inside the layout.js, I added this or I changed this font. Okay, so from Intel to I changed to outfit. Okay, and then after this app folder, we have this component folder which is exclusively used for this ShatCN. Okay, so obviously whenever you import new component from the ShatCN UI, then it will get the file is get created inside this folder. So obviously we are not going to touch until unless we really need to modify something. Inside the public folder we have some logo. Okay, so if you see, we have this svg file, some png file, and some of the other logo. Okay, so you can use whatever the logo you want, and then some of the packet.json, tailwind.config.js, and so much on. Okay, now if you want to learn everything, or you want to create the project everything from the scratch, you can learn it. You can go to my channel, or you can just go to ontubegurji.com, where you will find all the courses. Okay, and in these courses you will also find, or you can also track of your each chapter, whatever you chapter you completed. Okay, so just go ahead and explore inside the tubegurji.com, or you can go to my channel as well. Now let's go back to here, and if you remember, right, we already have routes which call home. Okay, so let's go to this home route. So here just simply you can go localhost 3000/home. Okay, and click enter, and if you see, we have this starter template. Okay, we have this beautiful logo on the left hand side, then we have this side navigation bar, and if I hover on this one, see how beautifully this menu is getting animated, right? This icon get animated, see. Okay, so this side navigation bar with the sign in button. Also we have this get started button on the right hand side. So these two button we will connect to the sign in page. Okay, once user click on this, and also this beautiful banner. Now obviously in next section I will tell you what will be the flow of our application. Okay, how you when user get login, when user able to post the or add the comments and everything I'm going to teach you in the next section. But first make sure that you will install this, or you will have this starter template ready, so that we can move forward in this particular course. So in order to understand the workflow of the application to get started with this application, let's me explain this first. Okay, so consider we have this home page. Okay, and this home page don't need any authentication. Okay, so whenever user go on our website, this particular home page will display on the screen. Okay, along with this beautiful banner as well. Same thing, the button is also there, the signing button is also there, and below this one we're gonna show the post of the user. Okay, so obviously that will be a others user post, because that particular user is not login. Okay, but if user want to post anything on this particular our community application, he need to log in. So on the click of get started or sign in button, user need to authenticate it to our application. Okay, once user authenticated to our application, then user have option to add post. Okay, or to join the community. Okay, or he can also create the new community. Okay, so these all option will enable once user authenticated. Okay, and obviously we're gonna remove this particular banner, and instead of that we'll give the option to create a new post from there. Okay, so all this workflow is right now it looks simple, but once we get started we'll get to know. Okay, also for this one, as you know, we are going to use a MongoDB to store our data. Okay, so whenever user sign in to our application, right, whether it's a first time or whether it's a repeating, we have to make sure that it is that particular user is inserted in our database. Okay, so this is our MongoDB. Okay, so on the our MongoDB database, we will make sure that it's saved. And obviously whenever you create a new post, join a community, or create a new community, we have to make sure, or we have to save the record accordingly. Okay, so obviously once we start implementing this particular functionality, you will get to know much better. Okay, next we gonna add the server starter package as well. Okay, so I already have the link in the description. So in the next section we will run our server first time, and then we will use it in our application. So now let's set up our backend. So obviously we are going to use MongoDB and Node.js with the Express in order to create a REST API. Okay, So the link is in the description for this Git repo, okay, which is the starter package for our MongoDB server. Just clone it, so or you can download the zip. So I will copy this HTTPS, and let's go to this project where you want to create. Okay, so let's create here new terminal, add folder, and just clone it. So just type git clone and paste the URL, okay, and it will clone it. So if you see, it's completed. Now let's go back here. Now what I'm going to do, let's go back. Let me close this VS Code first, okay. And inside the Next, if you remember, right, we have this starter pack for this MongoDB server and this social, okay. So I will create a new folder we call social app, and inside that I will put both this folder, okay, for our application and for our server as well, okay. Now go to the VS Code, open the folder, locate the folder which just we created, okay, so which is inside the documents for in this my case, and I will locate this folder and click open, okay. Now if you see here on the right hand side, you will see the two different folder. One is for the server, okay, and one is for this is for the server and this is for the application, okay. So you can just rename if you want, okay. So I will rename this to server, okay, and this is our application. Now in order to run the application, now you have to click on right click and just say open in integrated terminal, okay. So what it will do, it will open the terminal at this location, okay. So if I go here and if you see, it will open in this particular location, and now you can do npm run there, okay. So it will run this localhost 3000 and our application will run, okay. See, if I go to this home and if we have this, our application ready. Also, in order to run the server, first you need to install the packages, okay. So obviously let's go to here and click open in integrated terminal. So you will be at this particular location and just do npm I, okay. So in this package.json, it has a course.env in order to use the local environment variable. Then it has a express install, okay, as we are using express to create a REST APIs. Then mongoose for the MongoDB and node mod in order to run our application in the live mode, okay. So you don't need to run every time, okay. So I will tell you how to do it inside the app.js, okay. So it's a basic syntax, okay. So these are all the imports. Then we have this URI from the MongoDB, okay. So this environment variable, the connection for the MongoDB, okay, which in the .env file. I will tell you how to get that one. Then this particular line of code is used to connect to the MongoDB, okay. So with the help of this mongo.connect and pass the URI with some parameter, it will connect to our database. And this is a simple example route, okay. Once we open the particular post and run the server, it will return this particular statement, okay. Now let's go to that terminal, okay. Make sure you are in the server and just type nodemon, okay, and then you have to type app.js because this is our starting point of our application, okay. And if I click enter, okay, so it's not installed. Let me install it again. So let's make sure to install it, and now just run it nodemon app.js, and if you see here, it's saying the server is running on the port 8000 and it's connected, okay. When this text is saying connected, it means let me go back here and show you. So if you see here, right, the db.once open and it's saying the console.connected, it means our MongoDB is connected to the URL, okay. And obviously our server is running on port 8000. So if I go to this 8000 and if you see, it's saying this hello, this is a express app, okay. And if I go back here, this is what written on the default route, okay. Now the question is how this MongoDB is connected, okay. Where is this URL is coming from and everything, okay. So obviously I have this URL, but the question is where is coming from, okay. So let's go to this MongoDB, just search MongoDB on the Google, and you will find this first link, MongoDB Atlas. Okay, so you can go here as well and open that particular link. So it will obviously redirect you to this sign in page. Okay, just create a new account if you don't have an account. If you have already an account, just sign in. So once you sign in, you will jump on this particular page. Okay, so very first time you don't have project, so create a new project, give the name. Okay, and once you have this project, just click on that one. Okay, so once you have that one, this is the dashboard of your project. Okay, on the left hand side you will see the bunch of option. Okay, depends on our requirement, we'll learn it one by one, but for now let's focus to get that particular URL. Okay, so here I created this particular database called social media. Okay, the name I give the social media, and here you have option called connect. Okay, once you open it, you have a bunch of option here. Okay, so for the flexibility purpose, right, I will recommend you to install this Compass application. Okay, so once you click on this one, it will say if you have a Compass, follow this step or this step. Okay, so we don't have one, so let's install one, the new Compass application. Okay, and let's wait, and let me install it quickly, and it install in my system. And if you see, we have this MongoDB Compass. Just open that particular application. Okay, let's wait, it's still loading, and our application is open. Okay, now close this window, and here you have to add the connection to your actual database. Okay, so if I go here, and if you see this particular connection URL, okay, so copy this connection URL and so paste it here like this. Okay, obviously I have to replace this with your actual username and the password. Okay, so if I go here, you can use the username password which you use. Okay, in order to log in it, or you can create a new if I go here in database access, right, you can create a new database user as well. Okay, and you can give the permission or role for that particular database. Okay, so here, for example, in my case, I will put Guruji, and the password I will hide it. And if you see, once you click connect, after entering the username password, you will be in the inside this database. Okay, now right now I have this old database called social media and everything, but you can create a new. Okay, depends on your requirements, and see, you have a lot of option. Now if I click on this database option and create the database name, the collection name, and so on. Okay, now whatever the URL you've let me go back to our MongoDB here. Okay, so in database connect, and now if I click on driver, that's fine. Okay, and you can just copy this particular URL. Okay, it's similar the one which we use in order to add inside the Compass application. Okay, copy this one and then paste it here like this. Okay, obviously you have to change the username and password, and then you have to add the database name. Okay, so in my case, if you see, I have this database name called social media. Okay, so in this way you can add the database name at the end by using slash. Okay, in order to use that only particular database. Okay, and save it, and obviously you can access it using this process.env.mongodb URL. So whatever the variable you put inside the .env, you can access it directly using this particular line. Okay, and then if you see, our database will get connected. So make sure you clone the server starter kit, backend starter kit, and then you are able to install all the dependency. You will able to get the MongoDB URL. Okay, and make sure it's running, the port is running, and also it is connected to the database. Okay, so that we can move forward in this particular course. Now it's time to add authentication in our application. Okay, so that once we add the authentication and user log into our application, so that user can add the new post. Okay, that's what our next task. So that first thing, we have to add the authentication, and for the authentication we are going to use clerk. Okay, and if you don't know how to use clerk, don't worry, because we are going from the scratch, okay, from the basic. So first thing, Clerk is one of the best authentication service provider. It's completely free, and you can create a new account, okay, if you don't have one. And let's go to this dashboard. Okay, once you log into the account, here add a new application. I will give social panda. Okay, that's what my application name is. You can enable the different types of social authentication. So in this case, you have username, password, and lot of more. So I will enable Google and Facebook. Click on create application. Okay, and if you see, you have this testing environment, because right now if you see here, you are in development mode. You can jump to the production once you complete it with your app and deploy it on server. Now uh, right now obviously we are using Next.js, so just click on continue docs. Okay, and this, on this doc you will see the step-by-step guide in order to add the Next.js, okay, and to create and sign up page. Okay, so we will follow the same step here. So first thing, you have to install this dependency. Okay, so go here and make sure you will open the terminal inside this social community starter pack, means in our application. Okay, and once you install, make sure you will add these two environment variables inside the .env.local file. So create a new local .env.local file here and add these two variables. Then you have to wrap your application inside the Clerk provider, and if you see, this is inside the layout.tsx file. So copy this Clerk provider and let's go to this app, and inside that we have this layout.js. Okay, so here you have to wrap this our application like this. Okay, and make sure to import this Clerk provider from this clerk/next.js, see, like this, and save it. And if you scroll down, then we have to add this middleware.ts file. So I will go here in the inside the root directory, I will add this middleware.ts, and what are the content you will see, just copy it and paste it here. Okay, so I will tell you where we are going to use this middleware, okay, next in this particular session. And if I scroll down, now basically our application is ready. And if I go to this localhost 3000, let me go here. Okay, and if you see, it's getting redirected to this login page. But if you observe, this URL is not familiar, okay, because this is not what we are going. We want a localhost URL for sign in and sign up page as well, okay, and not the third party URL. So for that one, scroll down little bit more. I will skip this step for now, and here you will have option called create custom sign up and sign in page. So click on that one, and then you have to follow this step now. Okay, so first thing, inside the app folder, you have to create this particular path along with this file. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because this is authentication, I will keep all the authentication related route in one different folder. So inside the app folder, I will create a new folder called auth. Okay, as if I mention this in a circular bracket, it means this is not a route. Okay, and inside that I will create a new file, paste the this particular copied file name and the path, and make sure you will change this to JSX. Okay, now we have this, and if you see this sign up and sign up folder is automatically get created. Now copy this particular content, paste it here, save it. Then same thing you have to do for this sign in page. Okay, so copy this path. Now inside the auth folder only, make sure you're in auth folder, create a new file, make sure you change to JSX, and then paste the content and save it. Okay, and now make sure to add this for variable inside your .env.local file. Okay, see, like this, and save it, and you are done. So let's go back to our application. So localhost 3000, if I enter it, and if you remember, see, we are able to see this login screen. Along with, we have our own localhost 3000, means own domain as well. Okay, so it's not redirecting to any other domain. Now once you sign in, obviously it will redirect you to our home page. Okay, so let's do it. So I will log in with the Gmail. Just select the account. I will select the one account, and then if you see, it will redirect to this home page. Okay, how simple it is. Now one more thing I want to show. So let's go to this. Let me go back to our page.js, and here if I type user button, okay, and this particular component is provided by clerk Next.js, okay, and save it, and if you see, this user image is showing, okay, the login user email with this name, and you can even manage the account and everything. Okay, now once you sign out, okay, it will redirect to again to the sign in page. Okay, but the thing is, what if I just want to go to this localhost 3000 and I don't want to add authentication to that particular page? Okay, and that's where this middleware will help you. Okay, so in this case, for example, if I want to go localhost 3000/home, still it will ask me to sign in first. Okay, so to avoid this issue, let's go to this middleware.ts file, and here you have option called public routes. Okay, and inside this public routes you have to add the which route you don't want the authentication. So here you just need to add inside the list which route you want to make it not authenticated. So for example, the default route, which is the home, and then also I want to add home route like this. Okay, and now if I go to localhost 3000/home, if I click it, see, I don't need authentication in this case, and I am able to see this page. But if I try to go somewhere, obviously you need to log in it. Okay, so this is how you can add the authentication and make some of the route public, so that user can see even though you don't need to log into the application. Right now I am in the home page, right, and whenever user click on this sign in page or get started buttons, we need to make sure that user will redirect to this login page. Okay, so let's implement that particular routing. So let's go back to a VS code, and let me close everything from here for now. And inside this routes, right, we have this home route, okay, where we have this page and we have this banner. Also, if you see, we have this get started button to this header section. Okay, so let's go to this header, which is inside this component called header, or you can search by using command P, okay, or alt P, and here you can type the file name directly. Okay, and it will open it for you. Now here we have this button. Okay, now here we'll click on click method. Okay, and we have to route it to this sign in page. Okay, so this is the one way that you have to add the router, and then programmatically you can route it. Okay, there is a simple way you can do it, that you can wrap this button, or you can change this button to link. Okay, and if you see, this link is importing from this next/link. Same thing you can do it here, and then for this link you have to provide one property called hrefs. Okay, and here you need to give the path. So in this case we'll give the path like sign in. Okay, and save it. Now if I go back here, obviously this get distracted because we remove this button tag. Okay, so what I will do, I will just undo it, and I will wrap this button inside the link. Okay, and we'll add hrefs, so our button style will not get distracted. So here now you can give the path like sign in. Okay, and save it. And if you go back here, see, now if I click on this get started, and if you see, it's redirected to sign in page. Okay, obviously you can do sign up page as well. Okay, it's not big deal to create the account. So, or you can do sign in from here. So let's do the sign up only. And same thing you have to do for the other get started button. For example, inside the banner we have this get started button. So if I go here, we have this get started, right? So wrap this inside the link like this, and make sure to import this link as well. Okay, from the next/link, see, and then save it. And if I go back to our home page. We go back home page. We have the sign in button over here inside navigation bar. Okay, so if I go to this side navigation file, okay, which is again inside this component folder after the header, we have this button called sign in. Okay, here as well I will wrap this inside the link and make sure to import this link component. Okay, I think it's already there, and save it. If I go back, click on sign in, and if you see, it's redirecting to this sign in or sign up page. Okay, so all these components now button is not working, and we have to make sure that if user want to sign up to our application, they have option from here that where they can sign up. Now let's log in to this application. Okay, so click sign in or sign up, and let's sign in because I already created account, and I will just sign up with the Google. And now I sign up, and if you see, I am able to see this user image. Okay, but let's go to this home page now. Okay, and still it's showing this sign ins, get started button and everything. Okay, so we have to make sure when the user is signing, this particular button will get changed and this banner will get hide. Okay, so first thing first let's go to this header and let's change this get started with the user's image. Okay, so what I am going to do here, in order to add the user button, right, is as I told you, we have directly a component. Okay, but we have to make sure that we have the user information first. So in order to get the user information, we have the one hook called use user, and if you see, this hook is importing from the clerk/Next.js. Okay, and from this one you will get the user's name, first name, full name, last name, email address, and lot of things. Okay, now here you can write the condition. If the okay, so not here, maybe you can write it here. Okay, so if user is not there, then show this get started button, otherwise show this user button like this and end the tag. Okay, so this is ternary operator. If you don't know about that one, it's like a if and else condition. If user is not available, means user is not login, then show this get started button, otherwise if user is login, then show this user button, which is thus importing from the clerk/Next.js. And now save it, and if you see, now user is login and we are able to see this user profile image. If I click on that one, you will see this manage account section. Okay, so you don't need to add this section, is automatically added by this user, even though you can have upload the image, remove the image, and a lot of things. Okay, now all this customization, branding, and all of these things you can do it from this clerk dashboard. Okay, now let's go back here. Yeah, now we have also make sure that we will change this sign in. Okay, so let's go to this side navigation bar. Here we have sign in button, and as I say, we need to import this same way. The constant user is equal to use user, and then once we have this use user hook, we have to check it here. So I don't know why I added this s2 tag. Let me remove this s2 tag. Okay, let's find. Now here we'll check if user is not there, then show this sign in button, otherwise show the profile. For example, I want to show text called profile and end the tag and save it. Now if you see, the profile tag is showing on the screen. Okay, now what I am going to do, you can just add some users logo as well. For example, here along with this you can add the user button. Okay, sorry, user button like this, and I will put everything inside this empty tag. Okay, let's make this div actually. Okay, we don't want a s2 tag anymore, and let's save this one. And if you see, we have this user profile. Okay, let's remove this code now, and now let me bring this everything in one line. So make it flex and make flex row. So once you make flex, it directly by default direction will be a flex row. Okay, and just make item to be in center, so vertically it will be in the center. If I go back, if you see, it's working fine. Now just give some gap, maybe 3. Perfect. Okay, and now how beautifully it's showing, right? Now you can just add some background or something, some effect. You can do some styling if you want. Okay, but for now I think this is much better. Okay, now also the last point is to remove this banner. Okay, so here is the banner section. Okay, now if you see, this is our home page, and inside the home page this is the page.js file. Here we will hide this banner. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, will again refer this user hook, and here I will check if user is not there, then show the banner, otherwise show null. Okay, and then save it, and if you see, okay, so it's now it's saying that we use the user hook, right? And then we have to make sure that this particular page is on the client side, so you have to mark it as a use client. And if you see, now this banner is gone. Now another way to make this ternary operator, right now if you see, we mark it as a, if user is not there, then show banner, otherwise show null. Okay, so instead of showing this null, you can write like and operator. It means if user exists, then show banner, and that's it. And if you see, still it's work perfectly fine. Okay, now in this blank section, which is in the middle and not the side section, okay, we are going to give option to the user to add a new post or to create a new post, and then we will show the all the below post. Okay, also before that, in the next section we will create a MongoDB database. Inside the MongoDB database we will create a user collection, where whenever user log into our system or creating a new account to our system, we gonna create a new account, or we will save the user information in our MongoDB database. Okay, so we'll see you in the next section. So whenever we are log into our application, we are going to store our data inside our MongoDB database. So for that one, we need to create an API endpoint. Okay, so let's go to this. Let me go to here, and let me go to the servers section. Okay, over here, and let me open the terminal. So right now, if you see, our localhost is connected, and just make sure that it's running the on the port 8000. Okay, see, now here what we are going to do, we're going to add a new folder, okay, to the root directory, and we can call it as a model. Okay, so this model will help us to hold the value, what value will push it to our database. Inside the model, we'll create a new model called user.js. Okay, now inside this user.js model, we need to define the schema. Okay, what are the fields which we are going to store inside the MongoDB database. So here you need to define user, and constant will say user schema is equal to new mongoose. So here you need to import the mongoose, I think. Yeah, so let's import it. So we'll constant default, oh sorry, default will say mongoose is equal to require, and define mongoose like this. Okay, now once the mongoose is ready, you have to write mongoose dot schema. Okay, and here inside that you have to define schema. Okay, so first thing, we want the name. Okay, but name we can provide the type like this. Okay, if name is of type string, and if you want to provide some more property, you have to give it inside these brackets. Okay, then whether this field is required or not, so you can mention required to be true. Okay, and let's define another field called email. So we are going to store email as well, and email is of type string, and it's a required field, so just type required to be true. Okay, but there are some field you just need to define it. For example, if you want to put the image URL, you can just type like this, image is of URL is of type string, so I put the string like this. Okay, now once you define this user schema, you have to make sure that you will export this one. Okay, so write export model.export is equal to mongoose dot model. Okay, which model you want to export, so in this case it's user, and the schema name. which is the user schema. Okay, and now if you see, our model is ready. So same way you have to define for other collection as well. For example, if you want to create a post collection, community collection, and so on. Okay, we'll do it later on, but for now we are done with this user schema. Now inside the server folder, again we will create a new folder and we can call it as a route. Okay, so all the routes related our API endpoint will keep in that folder. For example, right now you are in default route, which is localhost 8000, but if you want to go to localhost 800/user, right now if you see, we don't have this get operation or this particular route, so it's throwing this error that cannot find this get user. Okay, but now once we define the route, we will get to know. So let's define routes, and inside that let's define a new file and we can call it as a user route.js, like this. Okay, and inside that we'll define route. For example, let's define route called get all users. Okay, then we'll define for get user by id. Let's another route, for example, create user. Okay, and so on. You have update user, delete user. Okay, so depends on the requirement, you can create it. But in order to create route, first thing you need to do, add the router is equal to express. So you need to install the express first. So let's add constant express is equal to require, and inside that you have to provide the express. Okay, and express dot router, see, like this. Okay, once you have router reference is defined, you can just define router dot get, and here the path. So in this case I give the slash. Okay, and then you can provide a async function called request comma result and the API endpoint. Okay, for example, let's just type JSON, and here we'll say, just say send, we'll say user get request. Okay, and save it. And if I go back here and if I search for the user and enter it, so right now, okay, so right now it's not showing because we did not use that route anywhere, right? So once you define this route here, let's go to this app.js, and inside this app.js you have to define this route. Okay, but before that let's export this route first. So in order to export, you have to just write module.export is equal to router. Okay, so this router you have to export it here, and inside the app.js let's create a user route. Okay, so here, so if you see, right, this is the example route, but let's create user route, and here you define first define constant user route is equal to require. So you have to get a you have to import that particular route, so using so our route is at the routes folder slash user route. Okay, and then you have to write app.use and the path is user. So here you need to define that particular path. Okay, then user route dot, and then you have to add the course policy, otherwise it will give the course error. Okay, and then save it. Now if I go back here, let's refresh the screen, and if you see, we got this result called user get request, which we return over here. Okay, it means this user route is working. Okay, but this is just a simple get request. Okay, now let's write logic to get the data. So inside that I will add the try catch block, and every time we are going to use try catch block inside the inside each route. Okay, now inside this user route, let's define the let's try to get the user. Okay, so we'll do constant user is equal to await, and here we'll define the schema, which is user and is importing from the model. Okay, dot find method. So this dot find method will find the users, all the users information. Okay, and let respond.json, and we'll just print the users. Okay, if data is not there, oh sorry, if there is some error, then we'll throw the error 500 dot, we'll write the message saying there is some error. Okay, we'll get the error message from the error.message and save it. Okay, now if I go back here and refresh it, if you see right now we don't have any data. Okay, now obviously you can run all the GET requests from here, but if you want to run post request, you have to use Postman or some tool like that, where you can run your API REST services. But there is one another method where you can run this API inside the VS Code. Okay, so for that one, just search for this VS Code extension, and which is called REST, and you will find this REST client. Okay, so make sure to install this REST client. So I will install it here. Okay, and once it install, let me go back here. Okay, now you have to create a new file, okay, to run this all of these API requests called router. You can give any name. Dot, the extension should be router.rest. Okay, because this is a REST request, and here you can write the GET request, for example GET, then you have to write the path HTTP. Let me copy this as it is and paste it here. Okay, HTTP localhost 8000, and that's all. Now save this one, and if you see this send request button is get enabled. Okay, click on that one, and if you see the result, okay, this is the header which we are passing, and you will get the result. Right now it's empty, that's why it means we don't have any data. If I go back here inside the, let me refresh the screen, and if I inside the users, we don't have any data or any record, right? So that's the reason it's not showing. So that's why it's showing empty. Okay, now let's create an API endpoint or a post request in order to save the data. Okay, so in order to save the data, right, you have to create a post request. So we'll do router dot post, and obviously we'll do slash only, comma, async and request, comma, result. Okay, add the try catch block. Try, we'll add catch block with error, sorry, error, and just give this error message as it is. I will copy it here and paste it here. Now inside the try block, first thing you need to do, we need to get the data from the body. So we'll do constant data. Here we'll write name from the request dot body dot name, then email from request dot body dot email, and then last image, which is request dot body dot email. Okay, and after that we'll write constant user reference is equal to await, and we'll write user, which is schema dot, we have option called create as well. Okay, but in this case we're gonna use find by we'll use find one and update. Okay, find one and update. What it will do, it will find the record first. If the record is already available, then we'll just update it. Okay, if the record is not there, then it will insert a new record. Okay, and in this case we have to add a couple of fields. We have to provide data for the insert, data for the update, which is, or in this case is same, and then you have to provide property. If it's a new, then make it true. Upsert means update and insert, make it true, and you can write run validation, make it true. Okay, so this is a simple request we made, and then you have to, in order to save it, you have to write user, the result I will say is equal to await user reference dot save, like this. Okay, and then you can return the result from user status. You can write, for example, 201 dot json, and then the result. Okay, so whatever the result we got, we will write back. Okay, and this is how you can create the post request. Now save this one, and in order to make the request, go back to router.rest. Here you have to use these hashtag and then make a post request. Okay, so obviously our request will be similar like this, only the change is that we make this request as a post. Okay, and now if you see, the send request button is get enabled, But obviously this is a post request, though, then we have to provide some body data, and also we are providing the JSON format data. So here I will write, you need to write content type, which is the application JSON. Okay, then you have to provide the body. So in this case we provide the name, it will be in the code, we'll say test user, then we'll say email, say test at email.com, and image, we'll say test image. Okay, so we have this post request, we added this content type and the body as well. And now if I make the send request method, and if you see, the record get added and it will return the record ID along with the inserted record data. Okay, because inside the, if I go to the user route, close this one, and this is what we return back. Okay, now if I go back to our MongoDB and just refresh it here. Okay, so let me go back somewhere else, come back here. Sometimes it take time to refresh, I don't know why. Yeah, if you see, we got the data, and this is what data we inserted: email, name, and image. Okay, so it means our API endpoint is working as expected. Now next, what we need to do inside our application, okay, whenever user launch or sign into our application, we have to make that API endpoint call, so that user will get inserted if it's a new, or it will get updated if there is some update in that inside that particular record. Now let's use that API endpoint inside our application in order to create and save the user profile. So let me save all of these things, close this, all these pages, and open our application. So inside that application, we have the inside the app folder, we have utils folder where we have this global API.js file. Okay, I will just change to NextJs. Okay, and here we'll create an endpoint. So constant create user. Here we'll provide the data, and here we'll add Axios client dot post request. Okay, so we have this post request, and the API endpoint is user. Okay, and here we need to provide the body, which is our data, and make sure to import it as a create user, and save it, so that once we export it, you can use it throughout the application. Now let's close this one. And inside the page.js, whenever user launch, right, it will jump to this by default on this particular page. Okay, every time. So let's add so users information. Okay, so in order to get the user information, we will get it from the user hook. So use user, we'll use this hook, and we'll write new method called create user profile, and inside that we'll use global API dot create user, and here you need to provide the data. It's a promise, so you have to write then and the response. Obviously we need to define the data. Okay, so let's define data here. So constant data, and here we need to add the user name. So in this case, the name is user dot full name. If you see, we is getting full name. Then same email user dot primary email address dot email address to get the user's email address, and the last is image, which is user dot image URL. Okay, now once we define all of this data, obviously we are passing it, but let's call this method inside the use effect. Okay, so whenever our application get executed, this use effect will caught at very first time. Okay, and here we passing this empty array, and we'll call this create user profile here. Okay, but we have to make sure when the users ready, then only we need to call this create user profile. So pass this user like this, so whenever users is available, this use effect will get executed, and I will write condition only if the user is available, then only execute this create user profile. Okay, and then save everything. Here I will console the data, so console.response like this, and then save it. Let response.data to get the result. Okay, now let's go back to our application. Just go to the inspect panel, go to the console, clean everything, and refresh it once. So right now we got one error. Okay, so that's different error, that's fine. And let me find the users. Okay, So obviously we are in the home page, that's why it's not executed. Let's go back to the default page. Okay, and here we got one error, we'll see. So go to the inspect panel, go to the console. So inside console, it's saying the plan executor, and it's showing this particular email is already there. Okay, the reason is I already have that data inside the database. Okay, if I refresh it, let me close this one, refresh it, and if you see we have this data. Let me remove this data first. Okay, and if I go back now, okay, and refresh it, now if you see we don't have any error. If I console, if we got this result that inserted information, and inside the network tab, obviously we did not paid attention, but if you see we got the result here. Okay, now if I go to this database, let me refresh this whole. Okay, and if I go to the user, I don't know why it's not refresh. Go back to social media, refresh users, and if you see we got this data now. Okay, with this ID and everything. Perfect. It means we are able to successfully save the user profile information. Okay, now one more important thing here. Every time when user, if I refresh it, right, every time user will update with this information. If you see, if I refresh it, still it will show like this. Okay, so every time you're making the call, so you can avoid that one. Okay, so whenever user saved it at the first launch, right, you can use the local storage to set the value. Okay, and we'll say is login. Okay, and we'll say true. Okay, if user login, we'll set the value true, and over here we'll check if local storage dot get item is login is true, then only run this command. Okay, so not true, not, you have to say not. If the local storage is login is not available, then only execute this one. Okay, and if I save this, clean, let's refresh it. Obviously it will execute once because now it set the value, and you can change the local storage value inside the application tab, inside the local storage. And if I go here, if you see is login is showing true. Okay, but now let me clean this and refresh it back. See, we did not make any API call, and here as well you will not find any API call. See, okay, because we is login is we set it as a true. Okay, inside this local storage, and that's the reason it will not store. If I delete this one, go back to console and refresh it, now it will make the API call, and you got the result. If I go to the network, and if you see you got this API call. Okay, so this is how you can set the local storage so that you will not make unnecessary API call. Okay, so let me just write here, use to create the user profile. Okay, and save it. So I hope you understand this particular section, that how you can create the profile. Okay, and then how you can save the data inside our database, and how to create the API endpoint with the help of REST API. Now here we're gonna add the section where user can enter the post, and once click save, it will post. Okay, so obviously we will add that in the middle section. Okay, so let me decrease the size so that we can check it out. Okay, but let me minimize this one. Now inside here, let's go to this app folder, and inside that we have this route. Okay, we have this home route, and right now obviously if you see we were showing banner, but right now we don't have banner. Okay, and instead of this condition we will put the question mark, and then here we'll put the option. Okay, right now I will keep null, and inside this component we'll create a new component, and we can call it as a write post.js. Okay, and add the default template by using RFCE. Okay, I don't know whether I told you or not. Okay, to add this template autofill. Okay, so this kind of template you can add it. So for that one you need a one extension, the VS Code extension, which is called the React snippet. Okay, so this one, the ES7 React Redux. Okay, so make sure you install this extension Along with, you can also install this Tailwind CSS extension. Okay, so what it will do, let me show it again. For example, if you want to add the template very first time, just type rfce, and if you see this React function export component get imported, and if you enter it, you will get this default template. Okay, now save this one and then go to this page.js. Instead of this null, I will want to show the right post once user log into the application. Okay, now if I go back to application, let me refresh it, and if you see, the right post is coming up. Okay, obviously we are logging, that's why it's showing this right post. Okay, now let me decrease the size of the screen so that we can code side by side. Okay, like this. Perfect. Now let's go to this right post. Okay, and let's write something here. Now first thing, we need to add h2 tag, and inside this h2 tag I will add the text. So let's add hello. Okay, and here we want to show the user's name. Okay, obviously if you remember, we can get the user's name from this use user hook. So constant, let's say user is equal to use user, and here I will say user dot full name. Okay, you can get the first name as well, it's up to you, but I will take the full name. Okay, and just write first name. See, so either way you can do it. And after that we're gonna write one text, and it will say what's new with you, would would you like to share something with community. Okay, it's a simple word, and let's apply some styling. So let's add the class name, and here if you see, right, for example, if I want to give size of text, okay, and it will give me suggestion. Okay, because we install the Tailwind CSS extension, and that's why this is very helpful. Now if you want to give the custom size in the pixel, you can write inside the square bracket. Okay, every time you want to give some custom size, you can write in some bracket. Okay, otherwise you can give the default one. For example, if you see, it has a large text large, which is of font size 18 pixel, see, like this. Okay, but in this case I want to give 30 pixels, so I will write like this. Then we'll say font to be medium size, and then we'll say text of gray 600, like this. Okay, next let's add some styling to second text. We'll just say text gray 400. Okay, like this. Perfect. Now this div is ready. Let's add one div. Inside one div I will add the h2 tag, where we will now this div contains our actual right post content. Okay, the input field and all. Here I will just say create post. Inside that I will add the input field, or this may be a text area. Okay, so inside div I will add the text area field. In placeholder, at placeholder we'll say what's let me wrap this inside the double quote so I can write what's new, and this is a placeholder, and if you see, I can able to write it because this is text area. Okay, now let's apply some styling. So for this main div I will add the class name, and here is the padding of 3. We'll add the border, then we'll make a rounded corner to be large and margin top to 2. Okay, now if you don't know how to use Tailwind CSS, you can every time you can refer the Tailwind CSS document, is very easy. Okay, because most of the most of my videos on my channel contains this Tailwind CSS, and it is very easy to use. Now if you see how beautifully we added this border and added the padding as well. Okay, we'll add the padding of 3. Then for this div I will add the class name, we'll add padding of 4, we'll add background white, and rounded corner I will add the large. Okay, and here I will add the background color. Actually for this div we will add background slate to be 100. See, like this. Then margin 4 is fine, we'll add a margin top to 2 here. Perfect. Now for this text area, if I click on it, see this text here is up to this point. We want to extend it to this corner, and also we don't want this outline. So what I'm going to do, we'll add class name to this text area and we'll say outline none. Okay, now if I say outline, see the outline is gone. Okay, but still we need to make this width to be full. See, okay, now width is full. Also you can just, okay, so I think this is fine. Okay, let's move down to the next section where we want to show the buttons. Okay, so I will add div. In first div, let's add another, let's add h2 tag. Inside that I will add the icon. Okay, so we have the, once you install this shared cn, because in shared we already have the shared cn install. Okay, along with this shared cn, it also install one icon library which is this lucid react. Okay, and if I go into the lucid .dev, okay, you will find this beautiful icon, and it's very easy to use. I will tell you how to do it, but if you have a lot of bunch of different icon. Okay, so in order to use the icon, for example, I want to add the image icon. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just write image, we'll see the option. Okay, and if you see this is importing from this lucid react, import it, and boom, and if I save it, you will see this icon will display on the screen. Okay, so easy, right? Now here I will write image, and also one more for the video. So let's write video, and if you see the lucid react icon I imported, here I will write video and save it. See, the video is getting added, the icon getting added. Okay, now let's add class name to this one, make it flex, let's add a gap of maybe 2, and make item to be in the center. We make the cursor to be pointer. Okay, and on hover, okay, so we'll add the background slate 200, and we have to make sure padding we give 2, and the rounded corner LG. So if I hover on it, see how it show, right? Perfect. Same thing, I will copy same existing class to this video as well. Okay, and if you see like this. Okay, one more button we need to add is for, let's do one thing first, wrap this div. Okay, I will tell you why, like this. Okay, and let's bring these two buttons on the one line. Okay, so let's say class name, make it flex, and let's give gap of 5. See, like this. Okay, also for this div, class name will do margin top to 4, maybe 2. See, okay, now the one button is for the post, the or to save the post. Okay, so outside of this one I will add the button, and this button is I'm adding from this UI component which is we imported from the shared cn. Okay, and obviously if I import this button like this and add some text, for example, you can say post publish. See, so you don't need to add any custom styling for this one, the button is already there. But if you want to add the style color, want to change color or something like that, you can write it. For example, you want to give background blue maybe 500. See how it's easily changed, right? Also you can round it the corner to maybe XL, like this. See, okay, now along with this button I want to give one icon. Okay, and here for example I want the send icon. If you see send, I will import from the lucid icon, and this send icon is get imported. Now you can give height and width, you can change the height and width of this icon. For example, we'll give height of 4 and width of 4. Okay, perfect. Let's give gap, so gap of 2, like this. See, okay, we can change the size of this icon as well. So what I'm going to do, let's, for this icon, let's give class name, let's give height of 5, width of 5. Let's see how it looks. Yep, that's good. So same thing I will copy it for this video icon as well. See, okay, now let's bring everything in one line. Okay, so that's the reason I put this div in one and another div inside one. Okay, now if I want to bring flex, see, and I want this image and video on the left hand side and this publish button on the right hand side. And obviously we added this, we have inside div we have two main div, one is div is this one and another component is button. So let's make it justify between, see, okay, if I increase the size, this is how beautifully it looks. Okay, now if you think that for this side navigation bar we want some border, it's very easy to add. Okay, so let's go to this side navigation file, okay, which is inside this routes, and inside that we have this component for the common. So add the side navigation, and over here you can just add the border. Okay, and if I go back here, increase size, see, the border is getting added. Okay, perfect. Now I want to add some padding on the x-axis. So what I'm going to do, for this page.js, right, which is the home page, I'm going to add a padding x2, maybe x2, maybe 10, like this. Okay, and if I go back, say, perfect. Okay, and this look beautiful, see. So how easily we added this route post, right? It's very easy, you just need to play around it if you want to customize more into this one. Okay, only thing I want to do here, margin top I will give maybe 5. Okay, perfect. So next what we are going to do, when you add anything like some post here, see, okay, whenever we add the post, we want to when you click on this publish button, we want to save the user data. Right now, if you see this black button is coming, let me change this. So what I'm going to do, for this button I will add the hover effect. On hover I will change background blue, maybe 700. If I hover on it now, see, it changes. Okay, or maybe let's say 400, 300. Oh, I think this one is much better. Okay, perfect. So next, once we click publish, we want to save that data in our MongoDB database. So for that one, obviously we need to create endpoint similar like the user. Okay, so we will do that next. Now let's go to this server application, the backend application, where we need to create the post API REST API endpoint. So first thing, we need to create a schema inside the model folder. Okay, so we'll create a new file and we can call it as a post.js. Inside here, let's copy this import statement as it is. Okay, and here I will create a constant. We'll say post schema is equal to new mongoose dot schema, and inside that we need to provide the details where we need to save it inside our database. Okay, so first thing, let's say post text. Okay, and this is of type, we'll say string. Okay, and require, we'll say true. Okay, then we need a created at. So created at, this will be a time and it will be a timestamp. We will keep it in string format. Okay, and then afterwards we will format it according to our date. After this we will add image URL if there is some image. Okay, so that URL, so it will be in the string format. And the last, we need to say who created it, so created by. Okay, so in this case created by will be the ID of the user. Okay, so if you see this ID we need to store. Okay, and if you see here, the ID is the actual the object. Okay, so it's the object ID. So in order to give the type of that created by, okay, here we need to do type, and inside that we need to give mongoose, mongoose dot schema dot type, and here we need to give object ID. Okay, comma, you have to refer which object ID you want to. So in this case we need a user, so we'll say refer to the user. Okay, like this. And obviously if you just want to show you this user, whatever the text you would written over here, same thing you have to give it here. Okay, and obviously this is a required field, then it will be a true. Okay, and our schema is ready. Just you need to export this schema. So let's say module export is equal to mongoose dot model, will say post comma the post schema. Okay, you have to attach the schema like this and save it. Now our schema is ready. Let's add the route for it. So we'll add post route.js. Okay, so I will copy the same this import statement. Okay, obviously we don't need this user, so I will remove it, and let's add this post route. Okay, so obviously it has multiple route. For example, get post, get all post, I think. Okay, all post, and then create new post. Okay, so in order to get all post, I will copy the user route, similar route. Okay, only thing we need to change, we need to add the post schema from this model/route, make sure it's posts, and we'll return the JSON. Okay, so simple, it will get the post route, and then we need to get the created new post. Okay, so what I will do, I will copy the similar one just to avoid the time. Here I will paste it. Only thing now we will replace this one. Okay, so obviously whatever the field you need, you can add it here. Okay, so in this case we need a post text created at, let's add this post text, then created at, created by, and then another one is image URL. Okay, so same thing, I will put it inside body. This is just a data which we are fetching from the body. Okay, nothing different. And after that we'll say post. So I will remove this part, all this text, and okay, and here in this case we need to create a new data every time. Okay, so just write constant post reference maybe, or post result we'll say, is equal to await, and here I'll post dot create. Okay, so it has a method called post create, and here you need to pass the data, as simple as that. See, okay, and then copy this post result and return back to the user like this. So simple, right? And then at the last you have to export it. So module.export is equal to router like this. Okay, now you can export the router. Now you have the get all post and the created new post schema, which is one is get and one other is post. Okay, obviously if you want to fetch only particular post by ID, you can do that as well. Okay, by adding another route option, but for now we are okay with this. Now next, go to this app.js, and inside here you need to make sure that you will add that route to the app.js. Okay, so copy this existing one for the similar to the user. Okay, I will just change it for the post. So here I will say post route, and obviously you have to access it from the post route. Now your endpoint will be localhost 8000/post. Okay, and here also post route. See, and now post route is ready. Now make sure you don't have any error over here, and it is connected to server running to the port 8000. Okay, now let's test this out. Now if we go back, let's go here, and if you see, we don't have any collection name. Okay, we have the collection name, but we don't have any data inside the posts. Okay, now what you can do, let's go back, and let's go back to router.rest in order to test it. Now you can create a new file for the post, but I will keep inside here only. Okay, now I will copy similar way this one, only the endpoint is post. Make sure to add ssh, and then content type application is right. Here we need to add the body. So in this case we'll say, this is about testing purpose. Okay, post text, I will say sample post message, then created at. So here will be a time zone, it will be a time zone. Okay, then created by. Okay, so created by, here you need to give a provide the user's ID who created it. So in this case, for example, let me copy this user ID and then paste it here like this. Okay, and the next is image URL. Okay, so right now obviously we don't have image, but let me put some value, sample URL. Okay, and save it. Now let's test this out. If you click on the send request, so right now if you see, we got the response with the created information, and we got this ID of this particular post. Okay, now let's go back to our Compass application. Let's go to the post, and if you see, we got this sample post, and here we have the ID of this post and the created by, which is connected to the actual post. Okay, so this is how you can create the post. Now let's once we add that one, okay, let's test out the get request. Okay, so what I will do about this one, I will add new request, okay, for a get, and here obviously http / localhost post. Okay, so it is get request. If I click get request, if you see, we got the post data, all the post data obviously. But here is thing, if you remember, if you see here, right, the created by, I'm getting ID instead of to get the user's information, because here we need to get the user information, okay, instead of this ID only. So how to solve this issue? So it's very simple. Let's go to this, let me close this one first. Let's go to this post route, and here if you see, we have this post.find. Here you have to add dot populate, okay, this particular method, and here you have to provide the which value you want to populate. Okay, so in this case our value is, if I go here, this is our value which is created by. So copy this one and pass it here. Okay, so we want to, when you add the populate and the value, it will fetch the relation if there is some relation with other collection. Okay, now save this one. Let's try it out now, and if you see, in created by, we got the, along with the ID, we got the user email, image, name. Perfect, that's what we wanted. Okay, now it's time to use this both the API inside our application. Okay, so first thing, obviously we have this UI or component ready in order to create a post. Now let's connect it. So before moving forward, one more thing I want to tell you here. Whenever we want to create this particular post, we need a user ID. Okay, and this user ID need to be from this this particular collection. Okay, particular document, and this user ID we need it in order to create the post. Okay, but until now we did not use or did not fetching the user post or user details from the MongoDB. Okay, so for that one, obviously we need the user information first in order to move or process further. So what I'm going to do, let's go to this server folder, and inside here, inside the users route, okay, go to the user route. Here we need to create a route. Okay, and this route will be to get the user by their email address, because email address is unique inside our application. Okay, so it's quite similar. Let's copy this existing get all user and paste it here. Only thing here, we need to pass the email. Okay, so our endpoint will be localhost 8000. Okay, and then /email. Now once we have the email, here we need to change this method, and here we need to say find one. Okay, and when we use this find one, you have to provide from on which field. So you can say of find one. Inside that, we have to provide the value. So in this case, email and user email. So obviously here we need to define the user email, which is equal to request dot params dot email. Okay, now we have the email, and this, once we get the data, we will send it back. Okay, as simple as that. Now let's test this out before moving forward. So let me copy this existing get operation, and here we'll pass the email address. For example, this is the email address I am saving. Okay, so only thing that we did, we same endpoint, only we need to pass this API endpoint. Let's send request, and if you see, we got the data with this particular email address. Perfect. Okay, now this API endpoint is ready. We need to use inside our application. So let's go to our application folder. Now we save this one. Oops. And inside the app, we have the utils. Inside global API, we need to add the endpoint. Okay, so let's say get user by email. Here obviously we need to pass email. This will be a get method, and the email will be like this. Okay, and here we don't need any data, and make sure to export this one and save it. Now once we have the email address API endpoint ready, we need to use it. Okay, so in order to use it, we are going to use inside the layout.js file, oh sorry, inside the route, and here we have this layout.js file. Okay, so here we're gonna use this one. So let's write a method or constant get user details, and here we call global API dot get user by email. Here we need to provide the email address dot then and the response. So right now we'll just console the response and we'll verify whether we are getting data or not. Obviously you need to provide the user's login email address, which we will get it from this user hook. Okay, and just pass this user dot primary email address dot email address. Okay, now we have to call this function method inside the use effect. So here we need to pass the user because we want to make sure that our function method will execute only if users is available. Okay, and then get user details. Okay, now let's save this one. Let's go back to our application, go to the inspect panel, go to the console, and if you see, we got this object, and inside that we have this data. See, okay, it means we are getting the user's detail. Now next thing we need to do is to save or in order to share these particular details throughout the application or throughout the route inside this one. Okay, so how to do it? So for that one we are going to use context. If you don't know about the context, context will help us to share or to update the value from anywhere if you define the component inside that context provider. Okay, let me explain by with the example. So first, in order to create context, we will create inside one folder and we can call it as a context. And let's create a context in that. So I will say user detail context, okay, .js, and inside here I will add the export constant. The name of the context is equal to create context, and if you see this create context is imported from the React. Initially I will add null as a value. Okay, and save it. Now this is our own custom context is created. Now what you need to do, let's go to this layout.js. Okay, and inside the color provider, let's wrap our application. Okay, so we'll say user detail context dot provider. Okay, and let's wrap this here. Now to this provider we need to provide the value. Okay, so inside the double curly braces, and here we'll say user detail comma set user detail. Okay, obviously we need to define the state first. Okay, with a initial value. So we'll define some state like this. Okay, now obviously we don't have any value, just we are passing. We have to make sure that we are this particular value we are passing to this all of this particular application. Okay, because we wrap our application inside this provider. Okay, now let me copy this one. Okay, and let's go to our route where we are fetching this data. Here let's define this context. Okay, so let's define context. So in this case we have to define in curly braces is equal to use context, because we want to use our context inside this particular layout. And here you need to provide the context name. So in this case user detail context C. Okay, and save it. Now once we have this data, obviously we'll set the context. So set user detail and we'll say response dot data to save it. Okay, so once it save it, right, anywhere, whenever, in which in whatever component we use the context, it will update it with this particular data. Okay, and now save it. Perfect. Now we have this user information and everything ready. Now we are ready to add a create post API. So here I will add the constant create post API endpoint. Obviously we need to pass data Axios client dot, obviously it is a post request, so post, then we have to add the post request, so post route comma data. Okay, and make sure to export it. Okay, now let me close all of these tabs. Now let's go to our inside the home section, here we have the page.js, okay, and inside that we have the route.post where we need to save our post, okay. So here first thing we need to make sure that when user enter the input, we need to save that in a one state, okay. So we'll define one state, we'll say constant user input text or user input post comma set user input post is equal to use state. And whenever user type it, right, so inside the text area we have one method called onChange, okay. It will take parameter as an event, and then we need just simply update set the value. So set user input post, and here we need to add the value of user entered, okay. So it will get it, we will get it from the e.target.value. So is stand for event. Now we have this value in the user input post. Let's write a method. So constant on create, we'll say on create post, and inside that we'll call global API dot create post. Obviously here we need to provide the data, then and the response. So for now we will just console the response. Now here we need to define the data. Let's define the data, and obviously four field we need to define. One is the post text, okay. This post text we will getting from this user input post, so just write user input post. Second, we need a created at, which we will getting from the date dot now, oh sorry, it need to be date dot now, we'll say toString. Then we need a created by. So in this case obviously we have the ID of the user which is in the context, okay. So let's use that context. So we'll say context user detail comma set user detail is equal to use context, okay, and the context name is user detail context, okay. So if this from this property we will get user detail. Let me get the name of the ID, okay. So so right now if you see we got one error that it will only work so in layout.js, okay. So if you go to the layout.js, oh sorry, this layout.js, make sure, because we are using this use state, okay, comment this code out and make sure to make this particular component or layout as a use client. So it will be because we are using on the client side, okay. Now just to make sure, go to the inspect panel console, okay. I don't know whether, okay, let me go to the network tab, let me refresh it so that we'll get the user's email detail. So inside here if you see we have this underscore ID, this ID we need it, okay. That's the reason I use this one. So here we'll get the user underscore ID. So user detail dot user underscore ID, and obviously we don't have image URL, so I will keep empty or we will not pass it in this moment, okay. And now save it. Now once we save this one, we are passing this data, everything look good. Only one more thing, okay, we'll do it later because we have to make sure whenever user send, okay, or click on this publish button, we want to save this data, but we have to make sure that user enters some value, okay. So here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add the disable button, okay, disable, and if I put the disable here, okay, you will see the change. So if you see it's gray out, okay, means this color is changed, you are not able to press it. Here you need to write condition. So if disable, only if the user input post dot length is greater than 0, sorry, less than equal to 0, then it need to be length and like this, okay. I don't know why, okay. And if I enter the value, see it's enabled immediately, okay, perfect. Now we have this method and we need to call this on create post method when user click on this publish button. So let's on click, oh sorry, on click method, oops, and we'll call this method, save it, okay. Now let's go back to our application, let's add some value, okay. sample post data, sample post data, and let's say, let me open the network tab just in case we need to. If you find any error, we'll get to know here. If I click publish, so right now, wow, we got the big error. Let me open this error, and it's saying, okay, dead now is not a constructor. Let me fix this issue. So here, just remove this new because this is not constructor, it's saying, and save it. Okay, now let's go back, open the inspect panel, go to the network tab. Okay, now let's add sample post data to test post section. Okay, and if I click publish, and if you see, we got this post request. Okay, and if you see, we got the result as well. It means this post data get executed successfully. Now if I go back and refresh it here, okay, and if you see, we got this data, and it has the post take created at, which is time zone, timestamp, sorry, and then we have created by, which is the object of users. Okay, and if you see this 889e, so which belong to this gameplay app, the current user. See, okay, so this is how you can add the users, or you can create the post. Okay, how simple we created, right? Now only thing, we will do it in next section. That first thing, once user click publish, we need to show some toast message or something that, okay, your post is get published. Okay, second thing, we need to clean this text box as well. Okay, so these two things we need to we'll do in next section. Let's whenever we click publish, we will clean this text box. Okay, so let's go back to our application, and inside here, okay, if you see, we have this user input post. Okay, now whenever we click on this particular post, right, uh, here itself, or maybe we can put it here once we post it. Okay, we'll add user input post. Oh, sorry, we have to set user input post, set user input post, and we'll set the value as a empty. Okay, now only thing you need to do here, you need to provide the value property and the user input post like this, and save it. Now if I go back, okay, let's say another post, and if I click publish, and if you see, it gone. Okay, and obviously it's saved inside our database as well. See, another post. But if you see, our we also clean this one. Okay, now second thing, once we click on publish, and once the post is successful, we need to show the toast message. Okay, so in order to import the toast message or use the toast message, we are going to use chat.cn, and here on the left hand side, just search for this toast. Okay, so here maybe somewhere down, okay, yeah, so toast. Okay, so if I click on this button, right, this is example, and if you see at the right hand side, you got the toast. Okay, you can have a colorful toast as well. So for example, if I go to this toast called destructive, see, like this. Okay, so let's in order to use this toast, first you need to import this chat.cn. As I told you, when you import this our starter project, it already have the chat.cn installed. Only thing you need to do, whatever the component you needed, you can just import it here. Okay, so first thing, let's import here. Okay, so chat.cn latest add toast, and make sure you are in the community app. Okay, and enter. So it's saying, do you want to proceed? Say yes. Okay, and it's installing. Then in order to use this toaster, right, inside our app slash layout.js, you have to add this toaster inside the body tag. So if I go back here, our toaster is installed successfully. Let's go to this layout.js, which is inside the app.layout.js, and inside the body tag, I will add this toaster. Okay, and make sure to import this by just type, you can press Ctrl space to get this suggestion, and then here you can import it, and make sure you import it here and save it. Okay, and the final step is to show the message. Okay, so make sure to use this hook, and then you can use it. Okay, so let me copy this, and let me go back to a right post. Here you need to define the toast. So toast is equal to use toast. Okay, and once we have the data in or maybe once we have the response, then we will show this message. okay, with the title. That title will give like we'll say awesome, awesome, okay, and we'll say your post published successfully, okay, and then save it. Perfect. And obviously if you don't if you got any error, we will write the error message here, error, and obviously we'll show toast, we'll say oops, okay, uh, some server side error, okay, like this, some error message, and save it. Now if I go back here, and as I show you, right, the destructive, right, when I click on this, see this, you will get this red kind of background, okay, and for that one you need to provide this variant as a destructive. So let's copy this variant as a destructive property and let's put it here whenever we create the error, okay, and save it. Now let's take this out our toast message. So add some text, hello, how are you community, okay, and let's publish it. And wait, so right, we did not get any toast message, okay, let's go to the inspect panel and just to verify whether we missed something. I don't think so we have any error. This is the old error, so we'll ignore it. Let me check it out, what's the issue here. So just refresh it once, okay, maybe there's some cache issue. Let's clean everything and let's push it out. Hey community, how was it, okay, and let's publish it. And if you see, we got get this beautiful toast message, okay, but what is missing in that one? So it's a color, okay. So right now our background is white and this toast message is also white. So how to customize this toast message, okay? So guys, in the internet you will not tell you how to customize the chat cn component, okay. So in this course I'm gonna teach you that one as well. So whenever you install the toaster using this particular command, right, inside our application here, inside this component folder which is outside of this app, obviously here it also imported this particular toast.jsx file, or this created toast.jsx file. So in that one they return this all the background of the toast message, we can say, okay, the code or the logic. So if you see the destructive, right, we use the variant destructive, which currently if you did not provide, which is the default, but the if you define the destructive, this is how you will get the response. Now let's add another one, we'll say success, and here what we will do, we'll add the background of green 500, then we'll make text white, okay, and save it. Now once you save this one, make sure to add this variant to your toast, okay. So in this case this is our toast message, and here I will add the variant, okay, and our variant name is success, and save it. Now let's test out new toast message testing, and let's publish it. And if you see the result, see we got this beautiful toast message with the color, okay. So this is how you can use it. Now if I increase the decrease size, the toast message show upside, okay, at the top, and this is how beautifully responsiveness we added to our application as well, okay. So I hope guys you understand how to create the post, how to add the logic behind it, and also how to add the toast message or beautiful message on the screen whenever you publish the or created the post, okay. And obviously we have a lot of dummy data here we created, okay, but we will delete it later on. But I hope you understand this one. And guys, if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe. This is very important for me. It will help me to make you to create a new courses for you guys, okay, which boost my energy to create it, okay. So please do subscribe and we'll see you in the next section. So now it's time to display the list of all the posts, okay. But before that, let me explain some of the logic or some of the workflow in our application, okay. As obviously we are able to add the data, okay, so we are able to add the post, okay, and now we are able to fetch the post as well, okay. But the thing is, this post right now it's public, okay. So all of this post we made it which is public, okay, but there are some there are some what do you say, some posts which belong to community. Right now we did not import the community section, but once we have the community section, okay, so inside the community section it has a lot of posts as well. Okay, so many posts, and obviously we have the multiple community. Okay, so community will be multiple, and inside each community it has a multiple post. Okay, so right now what we are going to do, we have the two type of post. Okay, so let me write it here only. Okay, two types of post. Okay, the first one is a public post where user cannot select community, he just post on directly. Okay, and second is community post. Okay, so in the community post, when user post the any message, either he post inside the community section, or he need to select the community drop down. Okay, inside our this what do you say, this right post section, right, we don't have option to select community, but we will add it later on. Okay, if you want to. Next thing, now we need to fetch the data from the database. Okay, but we need to show the latest data at the top side. Okay, so how to do that? So in order to sort the result before displaying or before sending to the client side or UI side, we can do it on the server side only. Okay, or at the backend side. So let's go to the server section, and here we have the post route, and obviously we are using this route to get the all post. Here we need to add the one method called sort, and you need to sort on which item you need to sort. So in this case I want to sort on created ad, obviously, and I want to make descending, so you have to provide -1. Okay, and if you want to test it out, let's go back to router.rest, and over here. Okay, and if I run this one, and if you see, these are our, right now I only have one post, but this is the one. Okay, let's try to add. So this is latest post I am adding. Okay, let's add publish it. See, it's get published. Now let's run this one, and if you see sample post, oh wait, oh my bad, so I executed this post request my mistakenly, but that's fine. Now if I run this, okay, this is the by mistakenly I post this, but after that we have this is latest post I'm adding, and after that we have this third post. Okay, it means sorting is working. Now let's go back to our client application where we have this API, global API, and make sure to add the API endpoint. So constant get all post. Here you don't need anything. Axios client dot, obviously it's a get request, and then we need to write just post, and here we'll say get all post. Okay, simple, and save it. Let me close all of these tabs, and now let's go back to our let me go to this home page where we want to show this, right? Let's create a new component for that one, and we can call it as a post list.js. Okay, add the default template like this. Oops. And then inside the page.js we need to add that component. Okay, so here we'll add the post list component. See, and then save it. Now let's go back to our application. If you see, the post list message is showing. Okay, now let me decrease the size so that we can work side by side. Okay, now here we have the post list component imported. Let's go to this post list, and on this one we will fetch the list of all the posts. So we'll define one method called constant get all post, and over here we need to write a method, or we need to call global API dot get all post dot then response, and here we'll get the response. So we'll need to save this response in some state, so we'll define state, and we can call it as a post list comma set post list is equal to use state. Okay, and this will be an empty array initially, and just save the data. Obviously if you want to console, you can just console using response.data. Response.data, and then set post list response.data. And now we need to call this get all post inside the use effect only once. So we'll pass empty array here. This need to be like this, and call it this get all post over here. Okay, and save it. Now let me open the console panel, and if you see, we got the array of list and it has all the post information. Okay, so created add, then we have this created by. Okay, so right now it's showing created add because I imported dummy one, okay, by mistakenly. So let me delete that first. So I mean user, I mean posts, and which one I don't have the, so here we have the created add, and this one is dummy one, so I will remove this one. Perfect. Now once we have this list of posts, it's time to display it. Okay, so we need to iterate it. So here we'll write if post list is available and post list dot, we need to map it, map item dot index, and here we'll define, oh sorry, we need to define arrow function like this, and then inside div define it. So here we need to add the key as index. Now here we need to just first let's check whether we are getting this post text. Okay, so just write post text like this, save it, and if you see, we have 3 posts and the 3 post information we are getting. Okay, obviously we deleted one, so we have 2 post information. See beautifully. Okay, now what we are going to do, I will create a new item. Okay, and in that I will write all the UI for this post list. So I will call it as a post item.js, add the default template, and here it will accept the post, okay, single post information obviously. And if I go to the post list, instead of this one, I will add the post item here, and then we'll pass the item as a post. Okay, and save it. So right now it's showing only post item because inside the post item we only have the text. Okay, now let's write down the write UI here. Okay, so first thing, let's define one div, okay, which we already have one, and let's add another one. Inside that I will add the image tag, then the source tag like this. Inside that I have post dot, I will add the created by dot image. Okay, this will be our image. Then source, oh sorry, the alt tag, I will give the name of the user. That can be, we can give it, or we can say user image, something like this. Okay, and then we need to show the user name and image. Okay, so let me show you how we are going to design it first. Okay, so let me open my pad here. Okay, and this is our post, for example post card, we can say. Add here we will show user avatar, okay, user profile image, then we'll show the user name. Below that we will show the time. Okay, so for example see, for example for October, and then we will show the time, for example 12 o'clock AM, something like this. Okay, then actually we are gonna show oh sorry, not this one. Okay, we're gonna show the message here. Okay, for example if I want to show hello message, or whatever the post message is there, and after that we have here the like button. Okay, the like button, and then we also have the share, oh sorry, comment button. Okay, so this is how the structure will be. So let's go back, and let me decrease the size of this one. Okay, so here we'll give the width of 35, and then we'll give height of 35, and save it. Now if you see, we got the error that it's saying this host name called image.clerk.com is not configured under image in your next.config.js. Okay, so whenever you are using any external URL in our application, you have to make sure that in Next.js you are going to configure that particular host name. So in this case is image img.clerk.com. Okay, so just search for this next.config.js. You will find in here inside the root directory, and inside the next.config you have to provide the images. Inside that again you have to provide the domains and the list of domain which you want to use inside your next application. So copy this host name and then paste it here, add it here like this, and save it. Okay, now let's refresh the screen. If you did not refresh, just make sure the server is running, or stop the server or rerun it again. Okay, and now if you see, let me increase the size, let me refresh it, and if you see, we got this result. Okay, now right now we have this user's profile icon is showing on the screen. So this is the user profile which is coming from this URL. Okay, next we'll add another div, and inside that we'll add the username. So it will be a post dot created by dot name. Okay, and another one, sorry, we'll add it here, and we will say the time. Okay, so we have to add the time, so it will be a created, oh sorry, just created at, and save it. And if you see, we got the time. Obviously this time currently it's the timestamp. Okay, and first thing, we need to convert into number because we are saving it as a string. But the question is how to do it. Okay, so for that one we have one library, and we can call we'll call it as a moment.js. Okay, so this is the best library to format any kinds of data into any format. Okay, easy to install. Copy this particular statement and paste it here. Once it installed, then you can use it. Now let's go back to our application over here, and what I'm going to do, first I will make sure that this is a number. Okay, and then in order to format it, we'll add the moment. See, this moment is importing from the moment, and you have to paste, or you have to put this inside the moment. Okay, then you have to write format, and in what type of format you want. Okay, that you have to provide inside the format section. So in this case I want date, then we want month. Okay, and if I save it, see, it got 4th of June. Then we also want to show the hours. So what I will do, I will add HHMM. Okay, to show the at what time they posted this one. Okay, and then just type a, for example, oops sorry, capital, oh my bad, capital A, and if I save it, it will show AM or PM. Okay, so this is how you can format any kind of date. Now let's apply some styling to this one. So first thing, I will put this class name here. I will add the font to be bold. Okay, and for this one I will add class name text of size 12 pixel, and then I will add the text of it of gray color, maybe, yeah, like this. Perfect. And for this image I will make the rounded corner. Okay, so I'll just write rounded to be full. See, okay, now let's bring this in one line. So in order to bring, you can do it here, make it flex, and then give gap of 5. Oh, gap of 5 is too much, maybe 2, and make item to be in center, so it will be not stretch. See, okay. Now for this main view I will add the class name, and we'll add the padding of 5. See, like this. Then we'll add the border, and we'll add the rounded corner to that border, so maybe large. See, like this. Okay, then we'll add margin on the vertical or y-axis to be 5. Okay, perfect. See how beautiful it's showing. Next, we need to show the message, the post message. Okay, so maybe after this div I will add another div, and inside this div we'll add the post message, so it will be quick. So here we'll add the h2 text. Inside the h2 text we have the post text. Okay, and let's apply some styling. So class name for this one we add background slate, maybe 100, padding of 3, and rounded corner to large, like this. See, then for post item I will add maybe I think this is okay. I don't think so that we need change size little bit. We can change it, maybe class name, text of 14 pixel. I think this will be small. Let's see how it looks. I think okay, for now we will not apply any styling. This is, I think this is good. Only thing that I will add margin top maybe 4. Okay, perfect. Next we need to add the like button. Okay, obviously when you click the like button, it will turn to the complete field red color like button. Okay, otherwise it will show a simple border. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to use this hero icon, because in Lucid icon we don't have a fill icon like this. Okay, so that's the reason I'm using this hero icon. It's very easy to use. Go to this heroicon.com, and here you will search the icon which you want. So for example, if I want the heart icon, I will copy this JAWS copy.jsx file, and let me add the div here. Okay, inside div I will add another div and paste this particular icon. If I save it, and you will see this icon is showing here. Okay, now next we have to write like this. For example, 234. Here I will add h2 and we'll say 234 likes. See how it looks. See beautifully, right? Only thing you need to do now, let me bring this in one like this and add the class name and make it flex and gap of 2. Okay, maybe 1 is fine. And see our heart and this text is ready. Okay, right now we are hard coded it but we will obviously update it in next section, maybe to give the like or add the comment to the given post. We will add it later on here, just to make sure that it will item to be in the center. And same thing we'll copy for the comment section. Obviously we need a comment icon, so here I will type comment and I will copy. Okay, I will copy this one. Okay, copy JSX, and I will replace this SVG with the new one. Oh, sorry. Okay, and save it. Okay, here only we'll say 234 comments and say 23 and save it. And if you see, this is how it looks. Next, obviously I'm going to change the color, so we'll say text of gray, maybe 400, 500, and same thing I'm going to add it for this one as well. Okay, then for this div we'll add flex and gap of 10, so it will be in the one line. And after that, let me add it and let's give margin top to 4. Perfect. If I increase size, this is how beautifully it's looking. See. Okay, now let's try to add some big comment. Okay, so let me copy some dummy text from online. Now I have this message. Okay, I just copy paste from the internet and I'm pasting here. So if I publish it, it's get published. But if you see, right, this data is not showing that particular post in this particular post list. But if I refresh it, you will see it here and how beautifully it looking on the screen, right? But the question is, how can we refresh it as soon as we click on this publish button? Okay, then what we have to do, we have to make sure that we will fetch the latest post list. Okay, so here inside this right post, right, where we have the button called publish, we have to trigger the event so that whenever the right post is clicked, we have to inform post list that you have to execute or you have to call this get all post. Okay, so there are two way we can do it. So first thing, from the right post we have to pass some method or event, and then from this we have to update inside the post list. Okay, so this is the first method. And second method, just you have to get the event from the right post, and instead of calling this get all post inside this post list, you can call it inside this default page. Okay, not default, but this is particular home page. Okay, so we'll follow second step. So what you have to do, just copy this get all post. Okay, we'll copy all of this actually. Okay, we'll cut it from here, we'll go here and just paste it inside the home. Okay, see, this is where we have, and we paste it here. Make sure to import this use state and the global API. Okay, let me remove this one. Now here we have this post list. Only thing you need to do, you have to send this post list to the post list component. So I will set it here like this, and inside the post list you have to make sure you are passing this post list. Okay, so everything will be as it is. Let's save this one as well, and make sure we are not getting any error. So right now we are getting error that use effect is not defined inside this particular page. Okay, so make sure to import this use effect, save it, and if you see, nothing get changed, everything working as it is. Now let's go back, and now inside the right post, when we publish, right, so once we create the post and it's successful, we are showing message. Here we can call the event, and we can call it as a post, or we can call just get all post. Okay, and just call it like this. Okay, and here this method we need to pass back to this parent component. Okay, because this is right post is child component, so we'll save this one. Let's pass back to this page.jsx where we have defined this right post, and pass it here like this. Okay, and get all post. So okay, sorry, so once get all post get updated, we're gonna call this get all post method. Okay, and then save it. Okay, let's test this out now. So this will be this test sample, and we'll publish it, and if you see, immediately it's come here. Okay, let's add another. This is a new post to test. Let's check it's working or not. Okay, also subscribe to Tube Guruji channel. Okay, if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe. And if I click on publish, see, it immediately comes here as soon as we save in our database. Okay, so this is how we can save the post list. And if you see, our header is fixed on the left hand side. Only this middle part of the section is getting scrolled. Okay, so beautiful. And this is completely responsive. If I go to the inspect panel, okay, and if I increase size, okay, decrease size, see how beautifully it's showing. Okay, if I decrease size like mobile view, see. Okay, so I hope you understand this one. Next thing we need to do, whenever we loading this gameplay, right, instead of showing the blank screen, right, in the meantime we can show kind of skeleton effect. Okay, and if you don't know about the skeleton effect, if I go to this to show it, right, I'm not going to use ShatCN skeleton, but this is how it looks like, the loading effect kind of thing. Okay, so we'll implement with the help of Tailwind CSS. So let me go to the post list. Here we have this post item, and whenever the post list is not there, we will show this skeleton. Okay, so what I'm going to do, if I will add the condition if post list is there, and here I will add the question mark. Okay, here we'll say question mark, and here I will add the div. Okay, obviously I'm gonna add an empty array here. Okay, 1 2 3 dot map. Let me add this like this, and we'll add item comma index and the arrow function. Okay, so for the testing purpose, I will just revert this one. Okay, so that this particular part will execute, and here I will add the div. For the div, I will add the class name, will give a height of maybe 100 pixel and width to be full, and we add background slate of 100, and here we need to give animate to be pulse. Okay, and that's it, and save it. And if I go back here, and if you see, this animation is coming, but it's not little bit visible. Let's give some margin, So over here, is you margin on y-axis to be maybe 5 and save it. And if you see, it's little bit invisible, but because we use background a little darker, and if you see this pulse animation is effect is coming. Okay, only thing you can just add some rounded corner kind of thing, and if you see, perfect. Okay, I will change this to maybe 180, so it will be 200 is fine. So it will look like a post effect. Okay, and then let me remove this one, and if I refresh it, okay, now obviously it's very fast that it is not showing that effect, but it will come. Okay, so this is how you can add the skeleton effect before getting all the data. So now in this section, we are going to store the user likes. When user click on this particular post, we're gonna save that user ID for that particular post that he liked that particular post. Okay, and also we're gonna show the number of likes for the given particular post. Okay, so for that one, let's first go to this server or backend, our backend application, and over here inside the post.js, which is our schema, right here we need to add one more field, and which is called likes. Okay, and this likes contains a list of users id who likes this particular post. Okay, so write like this inside, so in order to provide that, okay, this is array, you have to write in bracket, and inside that you have to refer which id. Okay, so obviously I want a user id. Okay, so obviously I want to write type, so in that obviously type is mongoose dot schema. Okay, dot object or types dot object id. Okay, and you have to refer, okay, similar like this one, so comma refer to user. Okay, so whenever we fetch the post, right, we will get the likes and along with the user's detail. Okay, if you have the id of that particular user. Okay, so don't be confused over here. Now let's go to this post route, and here we're gonna create a new post. Okay, and this post will help us to save, or maybe you can call like slash dislike post. Okay, and let me add the route. So it will be router dot put method, because we are going to update uh, the post. Okay, post value, so it will be a route slash post put method, and then here the path will be slash like slash the post id. Okay, comma async, here will be a request comma result and the arrow function. Now let me copy the existing try catch block over here. Okay, obviously I'm gonna remove all of this content from here. Now first thing, we need to get the post id, so constant post id is equal to request dot params dot post id, because this is the post id we are passing through this parameter. Then after that we will get the body parameter, so inside the data, so we'll call constant data is equal to, or maybe okay, that's fine, we can write like this request dot so here first thing we will get the user id who like the post, so request comma body dot user id, then we'll get is like, whether it's a like or dislike button, right? If you press the dislike button, we have to make sure that we will remove that user id from that like list. Okay, so that's the reason, so it will be a request dot body dot is like. Okay, this two parameter we are going to pass inside the body. Now second thing we need to do here is to get the post first. Okay, so by using constant post is equal to await, then we have to call schema post dot find by id. Okay, and here we need to provide the post id. Okay, now inside this one we have this post information. Okay, now what we want to check, if post is already has this parameter called like. Okay, so what we want to do, if post we'll say is not equal to post dot is like parameter likes. Okay, If this likes parameter is not there, or field is not there, then we will update the post, okay, by using await post, or this will be a capital post dot find by id and update. And here we need to provide the post id, which record you want to update, that id, then what parameter you want to update. So I will want to update the likes parameter, and I will pass the empty value here. Okay, after that I'm going to provide some value, for example upsert. Okay, so we'll add upsert to be true, so something, wait, that's fine. Actually this need to be in the bracket, curly braces, and then we'll just run the validation. It's optional field, okay, but it's better to do and make it true. Okay, and then once we have, let me bring this, okay, maybe like this, that's fine. And after that, once we have this, we need to save this one. Okay, so we'll call await update post dot save to save this updated information. Okay, and if post has a like field already, then we'll simply update it. Okay, but now here, if this block of code if executed, we have to make sure that we'll get the latest post information. Okay, so we'll get updated post is equal to, and simply we're gonna call here. Okay, like this. Now next thing we need to check data is available. Okay, sorry, if is like is true, means if user likes this particular post, then we need to add updated post dot likes dot push, and here we just simply push the user id like this. Sorry, not user id, because we have our user id inside the data, so get access using this data dot user id. Okay, otherwise let me bring this down. Otherwise we need to just say update post dot likes dot pop, otherwise we'll remove it. Okay, if it's not a like button, it means it's a dislike, then we'll remove that particular user id. Okay, and at the last we'll save everything. Okay, so in order to save it, we'll say await post underscore save. Okay, and oh sorry, post, not post underscore, it's update post, my bad, update post dot save. Okay, and we'll get constant result is equal to, I don't know whether you will get the result here or not, we'll check it out. Okay, and we'll return the result simply. Okay, so this is how we can write this particular path. Okay, let's save this one and let's test this out. So inside the route params, okay, here I will put this, I will copy this existing post, but instead of post we have the I don't want to I executed this, but that's fine. Let's add the put method here. Okay, and after that we have the post slash likes, it's a likes or likes, let me check, it's a like, and then post id. So let me get one post id. Okay, so let me refresh it. Okay, and we'll get this post id d6. So let me go back and add this post id over here. Okay, then we need to add the body, which is user id. Okay, so let me put the code here, and for the user id we'll get one user id from our database. So users, I'll copy this 98 user id, I'll paste it here, and we'll say is like. Okay, so is like, if it's true, oh sorry, just we'll say true, it means user like this particular post, and save it. Now let's click send request, and if you see we got have a request, and obviously we have I have previous record as well, that's why it's showing double one. Okay, let me clean this out first. Now here I just updated and I don't have any likes now. Okay, it's empty. Now let's test this out. Okay, and if I run this send request, okay, so this is right, perfect, a send request, and if you see I have one like information now. Okay, and if I try to refresh this one, you will see the likes, and it has a one like, which is our user id. Okay, it means our like endpoint is working. Now also just check whether in the get post we will getting the user's id. Okay, so our post is I think somewhere here d6, And here if you see, we have this likes over here, okay, but obviously right now it's not returning anything. Okay, so what we need to do, obviously don't ignore this comment because we will are going to implement later in the section. But in the like, we need to fetch the user's information. Okay, so to do that, go to the post route and inside get operation, right? Let me bring this down. Here we'll call dot populate and we call likes. Okay, we want to populate likes, so just put likes. So what it will do, it will check whether that user id is belong to some other collection, and then it will fetch that particular result. Okay, now let's run this and now we can check it out. And now here we have d6, and if you see inside the like, not only we have id, but now we have the user information who like this particular post. Okay, so this is how you can create the API endpoint in order to like the given post. Okay, now we will use this API endpoint inside our application. Now let's use the API we just created. Okay, so let's go back to our application. Okay, I will just check this API that we need a slash post slash like, and then we have to pass this post ID. Okay, so let's go to our application, and inside the app we have this utils, and inside the global API we have to write the method. So constant on post like your client dot put, as this is a put method. Here we are write post slash like slash and then post id comma data. So obviously here need to pass the post id and the data. Okay, so here you can write just that this is also that, okay, that on post like, and here like this, and save it. So now once we define this one, let's go to our route where we have the list of our post. Okay, so inside this right, or not in the inside the post list, right? But inside the post list we have this post item, so let's go to the post item. Okay, and now here first thing we will do, we will show the total likes. Okay, so what I am going to do, I will add the constant. We don't need to add actually, because as we know we have this post information, and in the post information we also have the likes count. Okay, so we just need to define the length of that particular list of likes array. Okay, so here we'll just define post dot, and here I will show question mark likes dot length like this, and then save it. Okay, now let's go back to our application and just refresh this. Okay, and if you see right now it's showing 0 likes, and here it show 1 like and 1 like. Okay, perfect. It means this particular implementation is working perfectly. Next, what we need to do, whenever user click on this heart icon, okay, we need to save this information. Okay, but let's do one thing. Whenever we click it, right, we have to make sure that it change the color to the red. Okay, and we implement that logic first. Also we have to make sure that the current user, if current user is already like this particular post, we need to show this heart icon to be filled with the red color. Okay, so we'll write one method. So we'll write constant check is user like. So this method will check whether the user is already like to the post or not. Okay, and here you will pass the post likes array, and it will just return simply post likes dot find it as an item, say item underscore id. So each item id, this id is nothing but the user's id. Okay, is equal to and the current user id. So here we need to users information. So let me import that from the use context. Okay, so I don't know whether okay, so here we use this, okay, user detail. So same thing we'll pass to the, so this is in the right post. Okay, let me copy this one and paste it here so that we will get the user details information. So let me import this context and the use context. Okay, and it's from this user detail we'll get the user ID. Okay, so it will be dot underscore ID. Okay, and we'll call this method on this particular SVG. Okay, if the user, if this check is false, okay, means it don't have any value, then it will show this empty or outline heart. Otherwise it will show a different heart. Right now I will put null value. Okay, null means it has user already likes this particular post. Okay, so let me refresh it and check. Okay, so it's still showing one like. Let me check the issue now. So let's do one thing. Let's here implement that fill icon. Okay, so that will importing from the hero icon. So just type heart and you will find this heart, but we want solid, so select the solid and this copy this JSX file and then simply paste it here. Obviously you need to change the color, so we'll add the text of red 500. Okay, and if I save this one, let's go back to our application and this is how it looks. Okay, so the logic is little bit different. We need to, because we need to add method actually here like this, and it's saying that cannot read property undefined. Fine, because we did not pass this value. So here we need to pass the post dot likes, post dot likes. Okay, so this value we need to pass, this is, and then it will call this method. It will check, it will find whether that item is already there or not. So it need to be item dot underscore ID, and then it will return the value. Okay, so it's saying the cannot read properties undefined user detail dot underscore ID. So let me add this value, let me execute it, and if you see now this particular user is already like this particular post, that's why it's showing like this. Okay, so this is how you can check whether user already like to this particular post or not. Okay, now we will implement the on click of this like event. Okay, so let's add one method and here we will call it as on like click. Okay, and in this one we'll need a data, so constant data which we need to pass to our backend. Okay, so it contains user ID, so that user ID from the user detail question mark dot underscore ID, and then whether this particular on like click is user like it or user dislike this given post, so that value. So what I will do, I will put this is like here simply. Okay, now let's call this on like click method to this particular icon. Okay, so for this empty icon, okay, so what I am going to do for that one, let me bring this down. I'll call on click method, and here we will say set not set but on like click, and we'll pass the false. Okay, because sorry, we pass the true, it means user like this particular icon. Okay, and if it's filled and if the user click on it, obviously we have to revert it, so we will pass it as a false, means user remove their like simply. Okay, so that's what it is all about. And also we need to also need to send the post ID. Okay, along with this like which post user like or not, so that information we need to send. So we'll send post dot underscore ID, and here as well we need to pass post dot underscore ID. Okay, so let's get that one as well as here post ID. Okay, perfect. Now let's call our API which we have created. Okay, so on post like, so here we say global API dot on post like. Here we need to send post ID, so in this case post ID is post ID and the data which we already have. Okay, then response like this. Okay, so let's console the response, console.log, let's write response like this. Okay, and then save it. So once we save it, let's go back to our application. Let's open the inspect panel. Okay, go to the console, clean everything, and for example, let's say you like this particular post, so click on this one, and if you see, you got the result. Okay, and the result that it also provides the user ID, but it's not reflecting here. But if I refresh it, you will see that you like this particular post. See, the only thing we need to do, that we need to make sure once user like this or unlike or dislike this particular post, we need to update the list of this particular post. Okay, so in order to do that, uh, let's inform to a parent component that you need to call the get list post list method. So this method we need to call. Okay, so this is this post item, and where do we have post list? Okay, so here inside the page we need to call this get all post method. Okay, so first thing, let's inform to for this um, post item we have to inform it. Okay, so what I am going to do, here we'll say get all, update all post list, we'll say update post list. Okay, simply we'll call like this. So this method we will send back to the parent of this post item, which is this post list. So here I will call it, and again again over here we need to pass back to the page.js. Okay, so same thing we want to do from here to this again parent component, from the, it means to this page.js, because in page.js we have this post list, and over here now when this update post list get called, we will call this get all post method like this. Okay, and then save it. Now save everything along with the post item, all the files, and let's test this out. For example, if I like this video, see how immediately it changed, right? If I dislike this video, see, if I dislike this one, see, and you don't need to refresh your screen, right? If I like this video, it immediately change and reflect the effect without doing anything. It's not visible to eyes or anything like this. See, okay, so this is how you can implement this like dislike post functionality. Now after adding the like logic for this particular post, we are going to implement the comment section. Okay, so for the comment, first we will need to create the API endpoint to create the comments. Okay, so let's go to this server application, and then inside that one we save this one, and we will go to the model. First we need to create a new model for the comments. So let's write comment.js file, and inside that one we need to add the import statement for this mongoose. So I will copy from the existing model like this, and then we'll write comment schema. Then we need to write new mongoose dot schema, and inside that we need to write the field which we want to store inside this comment collection. Okay, because in the comment collection we will create a new collection, and where we're gonna add our comments. So inside this first tick we'll write comment text. Okay, what are the text we want to store? So it is of type string. Then we will store the post ID for which post we are storing. So obviously here we need to store the post ID. So we'll write the type. Okay, and inside the type we will write mongoose dot schema dot types dot object ID. Okay, and then obviously we need to refer it to the post. Okay, where we have this post. Okay, and we have to make sure that we will refer this particular name. Then after this post we need to add the created at. Okay, when it is get created, so it is of type string because we are going to store the timestamp here. And the last is created by. So inside this created by we're going to store user ID. So obviously type will be this particular line of code we need to put, only the reference will give to the user. Okay, and make sure to export it. So we'll write module dot export is equal to mongoose dot model, and inside that we'll add comment comma comment schema. Okay, and now our model is ready. Now let's create a route for it. Okay, so inside the route folder we'll add new file and we can call it as a comment route.js. Okay, and here we need to add some import statement, so I will copy from the existing one like this. Okay, and here we gonna create an endpoint to create new comment. Okay, obviously we'll create another endpoint for a delete comment, but we'll do it later on. So first let's add the router dot, this will be a post method, so post, inside that the we need to put async request comma result, and here we'll add the try catch block, so I will add the similar kind of structure here. I will copy this one and paste it here. Okay, now inside that we need the data. Okay, so for data what I'm going to do in this case, I will directly put the request.body here, request.body. So whatever the field we have, we can directly put it here. Okay, and obviously this need to be a comment to create the comment. Okay, but let me close this one. Okay, we're gonna do in different way. So first we need to find the post. Okay, so we find the post using this await, we'll let post dot, okay, let me add post here. So post schema we need to add it. Okay, I think yeah, we added here dot, we need to add find by id, and we need to get post id, so we will get it from request dot body dot post id. Okay, so from this one we'll get the post data. Okay, then let's save the comment, so we'll comment result is equal to await, and here we'll add the comment we are importing from this model dot create the comment, and whatever the data we have, from that we will create the comment. Okay, after that, once we create the comment, we have to push that new generated comment id. Okay, so we'll just add post dot comment, oh sorry, so this need to be post dot comment. Let me check what we use. So okay, so here is thing, right? Inside the post schema we need to add the comment array. Okay, so here I will add comment, and here we'll add comments and array. Okay, and is it array of type this object id, and the reference will give to this comment. Okay, so this will store the comments on all the users list of user id. Okay, so here that's the reason I use this comments dot push, and here we need to push the id dot underscore id, so this will give us a generated id, and then we will just write result dot status 201 dot json, and we'll add we'll print comment result here. Oops. Like this. Okay, and we have this error as it is. So this is how you can create this endpoint. Now the last thing we need to make sure that we will add this route inside app.js. Okay, so let me copy this one. And one more thing, I think we forgot to export this particular comment route. Okay, so we'll say module dot exports is equal to router. Now let's go to this app.js, and here we'll say comment route, we'll say comment route, here we'll refer to this comment route, and here also a comment like this. Okay, and save it, and save this route as well, and make sure to save this comment. Okay, so everything is good. Now let's test this out. Let me go to this router.rest, and below that I will add 3 hash. I will create a post method http localhost, and in this case we need a comment, and then we'll need a content type is of application JSON, and then we need to provide this all the field, for example post ID. Okay, so we write post ID. So I will get this post ID from here for this testing purpose. So we'll get this post ID like this. Okay, then obviously we need a user ID as well. So user ID, so this one user ID, and after that we need a comment text. We will say a sample new comment. And what else we missing? Let's check it out. So let's go to this comment, and we have this comment created. Okay, so this need to be created by and then created at. So this need to be created by and created at, and we'll say 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, now let's run this one. So save this and run it. And now if you see the data is not defined here, it mentioned. Okay, so let's go to this our comment route. We close this one, go to this comment route and this one. Okay, so here we need to provide request dot body and not the data, because we directly getting whatever we are getting from the body, we'll just put it here. Okay, let's get back here and test again. So he's saying again another error that cannot read property of undefined push. So here one more thing we need to save. So once we did the comment push, just save it like this. Okay, and it will get saved as well. So let's test this out. And also one more thing you need to update here, that we need to pass the post, because and we are updating the post information inside the comment and not the post ID. So in the route.rest, make sure to pass post or not the post ID. Okay, now make a request. So let's send a request, and if you see, the comment get added here. Okay, inside this post as well. And let's check it out. So let me refresh this post first, and if you see, we have this new comment. Inside the comment I already have some of them, but this is the latest one. If you see, this ID is 3382. Let's check this out. Is similar the one which we inserted, say 3382. Okay, it means our API is working now. And if you face any issue while implementing this API endpoint, you can refer this API endpoint from this server backend source code. Okay, so link is in the description, you can check it out. So now, what are the endpoint we created for to create the comment? We will add it in our application. So first we will display the number of comments here. Okay, so to display the number of comments, we need to change little bit inside our backend. If you go to this post route, okay, and here we have the get all post method. Okay, so here simply you can just add populate, and we want to populate comment. Okay, so this is how you can get the comments as well. Okay, so its name is comments actually. So let's update that one to comments. Okay, perfect. And now it will give us the comments as well. Okay, now let's go back to our application, and let's write the API endpoint for that one inside our application. So go to this app utils and the global API. Here we'll create we can add new comment, and let's write the API endpoint add comment is equal to. So here we will pass the data NextJs client dot post, and simply we'll add the comment here like this. Okay, and here we need to pass the data as a body, and here add comment inside the export. Let me close all of this window. Now let's go to our routes, where we have this home route. Okay, inside that we have to go to the post item, where we are going to add the comment section. Okay, so first let's display the number of comments. So here similar way we can display similar way the way we display the likes length. Okay, so post dot comments dot length. Okay, and save it. Now let's go back here, and if you see right now we did not get any comment. Okay, let's see why. So let's check it out here, and if you see we did the spelling mistake, so it's need to be length like this, and let's save this one. And if you see, now we are showing these comments. Okay, so for example, this particular post I have 3 comments, here 0 comments. Okay, and likewise. Next we need to add section where user can enter the comments. Okay, so let's add that one. So after this div, we can add the comment. So maybe let's say we can add it here. Just I'm typing something, so we'll get to know. Let me refresh it. And okay, so it's here. We need to put this down. See, this is how you can check it out. Okay, so here we'll write comment section, and here you can write it. So first we'll add the div, and inside this div, first let's add a horizontal, so hr tag. Okay, or maybe you can add this hr tag over here. Oh, it to be hr tag. So to add the horizontal line, and we'll give the class name and margin x to 5. Let me show you one side by side, though this will be a little helpful for us. Yeah, likewise. Then after this one, obviously we're gonna show the user image, so I will add the image tag. We'll add source, so we will get the image tag from the users dot. Okay, so we did not add the user here, so let's add the user from the use hook. User is equal to use user, and then we'll just refer it here. Okay, so it will be an image URL. Then we'll give width, maybe width we can give 30, height will be 30. We'll give alt tag that user user image. Then we'll give class name. So if I save this one, this is how it looks. Okay, so this hr tag give margin x, I don't know why it did not applied, but that's fine, we'll check it out. We can make this corner rounded, so class name rounded to be full. See, like this. Okay, let me put this hr below this one, and let add class name margin top to 5, and then here we'll say margin bottom to 5. Okay, so this is how it looks. Then once we add the image, we'll add the input, so input of type text, and then we'll add the placeholder that will say write comment, and then we close the tag. So this is how it looks. Okay, let's add the class name, and let's add the styling for this one. Okay, so for styling we'll add with full, background slate 100, maybe padding of 2, rounded we'll make it full, padding x to 5, and then I will also add, okay, so padding x I want to add 5, and we'll add the outline color blue 300, and save it. Okay, and if I save, this is how it looks. See, and the last we need to add the button. So button, this button I am going to import from this component button. Okay, and inside that I will just add the icon. So I will add the send icon from the Lucid and save it, and this is how it looks. And let's give some styling to this button as well. So class name, and inside this class name I will add the background blue 400, then we'll make text white, padding of 2, height of 10, width of 10, rounded I will make XL, then on hover we'll change background blue to maybe 600, and if I save it, this is how it looks. See, okay. Now let's bring everything in one line. So maybe I will decrease the height, maybe 8. Perfect. And for this, let's wrap this all of these things inside one div, and here I will add the class name, make it flex. Okay, and obviously we'll give gap of 4 and make item to be in the center so it will not stretch. See, if I increase the size, this is how beautifully it looks. See, now obviously if I hover on this one, it will give me the different kind of color. Now when user add or inputted some value, right, we need to save in one state, and we can call it as a, for example, let's say on change method, and inside the on change method it will emit the event, and we'll save one state here. So we'll call constant user input comment set user input comment is equal to use state, and this set user input comment state will help us to set the user input value. So we'll say e dot target dot value, and that's it. Okay, now let's, whenever your user enter something, then only we need to enable this particular button. Okay, so right, for this button I will write condition disable, and if I disable this, see, this is how the change color, and you cannot press it. Okay, so you can write the condition, if user input is not there, then only disable this button. Okay, so right now it's disabled. If I type something, see, it's enable again. Okay, perfect. Now next, let's write a method to add a comment. So I will go back here and I will add here constant add comment, and inside that I will add global API dot add comment. Here we need to add the data, and we'll response, get the response. Okay, so let's add the data, constant data. First thing, comment text, which will be the user input comment, then created by. So this we need to add, we need to get it from the user detail context dot underscore id, then post id we need to add. So it will be a post id is equal to post underscore, oh sorry, so let me check. Okay, from this we'll get the post id. Okay, so when we add the comment, right, from that comment we need to get the post information. So when user click on send button, right, so for example here user click on the click, we can call it here that particular method called, what is the method name, add comment, and here we'll pass the post id, so post dot underscore id. Okay, so from this one we'll get the post id here, post id, and then this post id we will save it here like this. Come on. And then we need to save created at, which will be the timestamp, so date dot now dot toString. So these all 4 fields we imported. So here instead of post id, it's a post only. Okay, but if you see inside our let me go to the route. So post, sorry, the comment route here in the schema we are using as a post. Okay, for the post id, so we are using post so that we will not get any error. And now if we have the successful response, then we will show the toast message. Okay, so in order to show the toast message, we have this toast hook equal to use toast, and I will copy the existing toast logic. So here, so I will copy this one as it is, and I will paste it inside this if response. Okay, just I will say awesome, your comment published added successfully. Okay, and this is the variant as a success, so it will show in the success toast message. And then once we added the response, right, we have to make sure that we will update the list, okay, but also we need to make sure that we will clean or we will remove the text inside this one. So in order to remove, we will set the user input comment to be empty, and then for this particular input field we have to set the default value. So for this text we will set value which is equal to user input comment, okay, and save it. Okay, so let's test this out. So refresh the screen. So right now we got the error that user image URL is not defined. So let's make this optional field like this and save it, and now we are good. Okay, now let's add comment to this particular post. So sample comment added, and if I publish it, okay, so if you see, we got the comment successfully, but it did not show the number because we did not update the list. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to update the list. Okay, so using this particular update post list, the same way we did it for the like button. Okay, same thing you have to do it here as well. So like this and save it. Now let's test it out. Let's refresh the screen once, and now here if you see, for a second we added the comment, but let's add new one. So new comment. If I publish it, and if you see, that number is changed to 2, so it means we have the 2 comments now. Okay, try this one, subscribe to channel. So subscribe to my channel if you did not subscribe, and send it. See, the comment is get added. I can even like that one. I can dislike it. See, so everything is working fine along with the comment. How to add the comment, okay, into our application, and you can have this beautiful section where you can add the comment for each post. Now one more important thing here you need to observe, we need to show this particular comment section only when the user is login. Okay, so for that one we have to check, because we have this user information, we will just check if the user is there. For this comment section we will add the condition if user is there, and then only we will show this one. Okay, and save it. Now let me log out and let's see whether it's working or not. And if you see, I just log out here. Okay, so if you see, we don't have any user sign in, and that particular section is not there anymore. Okay, but if I log in back now, let me log in the account. So it's /home, and if you see, the comment section is back again. Okay, so this is how you can add the comments. Okay, and you can hide the comment if user is not login, even though you can beautifully show these comment numbers, how many comments user added for this particular post, the like button, everything. Okay, and now in the next section we gonna show all the list of comment for this particular post. So user click on this comment icon, and then we will show the dialog box with all the comments. So see you in the next section. Now we're gonna show the list of comments for this given post. Okay, when you click on this comment section, we will open the dialog and we will show this list. Okay, so first thing, let me go to this server and let me show you one important thing. So inside our backend, right, we have this get post API. Okay, let's run this get post API. So here we have this okay, yeah, so get post. Okay, so what it will do, it will return all the post. Okay, so if you remember, we have the section where we are returning the comment as well. Okay, and inside that, if you observe, we have this ID, the created ad, created by. Okay, for example like this. But now for inside this comment, we also want the created by with the user's information like name, email, their images and everything. Okay, in order to display it. So it kinds of multi-nested document. Okay, we need to fetch. The question is how to get it. Okay, inside, like, it's very easy, but now in this case it's little complicated to find out the details of the user. Okay, for this given comment. So let's do one thing, let's go to this post route. Okay, where we are populating this comment. Okay, so inside that we'll change little bit. So here in the populate, we will add the path. Okay, so in this case path is comments, and from the comment what you want to populate, that you can write it inside this populate. Okay, so it's kind of nested populate method, and here you can write path. Okay, and so path means what is the field name, so in this case is created by, and then our referrer, where the model which you want to refer, so in this case we have to give the model name as a user. Okay, and that's it, you are done. And now let's test this out. So let's go here and let's run this get post method. Okay, now if I run the, oh sorry, I run this incorrect method. Okay, so let's run this get post, and now if you see, now let's see the object which has comment. Okay, so for example this one, this is the dummy one. So okay, but inside the comment we have this one comment, and inside that we have created by, and if you observe inside create by we have the now users information as well. Okay, and this information we need it. Okay, so this is how we can get the post request. Okay, so now let's go back to our application. Let me close this one, and inside this route, sorry, not here, no. So here we have this post item. Okay, and post list. So inside the post item, on the click of comment, we need to open the dialog box. So for that one, we are going to use session alert dialog. Okay, so if you're on the left hand side, you will find the alert dialog inside the documentation, and it will give you how to install it and how to use it. Okay, so first of all, let's see if I click on this show dialog. Okay, this is how it will look like. Now let's cancel this one and let me install this. Okay, so copy this command and let's go back to our application. Make sure you are installing inside your application and not on the backend side. Okay, and once you install, you have to add this all the import statement to open the dialog, the alert dialog box. So obviously we will add it inside the post item here like this. Okay, and next, this is simple example. So here, in order to trigger the dialog, right, you need to put the button or whatever inside this alert dialog trigger. Okay, let me show you. So let's copy everything as it is. We will modify it later on. And for this comment we want to add. Okay, so after this div I will paste it here, and I will copy this complete div. Okay, I will cut it from here and I will paste it inside this alert dialog and then save it. Okay, let me format this document so it will look beautiful. Yeah, see. Okay, and now save this one and let's test this out. Let's go back to our application. Nothing get changed. See, the layout is same. Now if I click on this open, see the dialog, the alert dialog is showing. Okay, obviously this is the existing code, default code, so we will change it on. So for example, if I want to change the title, we will add the title comments, and this is how it gonna change immediately. See. Okay, also I don't want this button, so I will put this cancel button on this section, and I will put X here to close the window, and we'll change this later a little bit. So I will add flex and we'll add justify between. Okay, and I will remove this footer section, and if you see, now we have this beautiful cross button here. Okay, let's make item to be in the center. Now for the list of item, I'm gonna create a new component and we can call it as a comment list.js. So add the default template, and here it will accept as a comment list as a prop. Okay, in order to show the list of comments, and here we'll add the comment list component and we'll pass the comment list from the post dot, it's not, yeah, it's post dot comment. Okay, like this, and then save it and save this one as well, and let's test this out. So if you see, right now it's showing this title and the comment list because we don't have anything in the comment list right now. Now let's iterate this comment list. So let's add comment list dot map item comma index, and inside this inside this comment list we have to write how we want to show. Okay, so for example, let's add a div, and inside I will add one more div here. Let's add the image, then source, and here we need to print the user's image, right? So which is inside the item dot created by dot image. Okay, then we'll do alt tag as a user image, width will give 30, height will be 30, we'll increase the size little bit, and then after that we'll add the class name, and I will make rounded so it will look rounded. Okay, let's rounded full, and let's see whether we are getting or not. Okay, so this is broken, let's test this out. Okay, everything is broken, let me check why. So we have item, then we have the created by, and then we have this image. So just refresh once, okay, to get all the data, and now let's check it out. If I open this one, and now if you see we got this all the users list. Okay, oh sorry, user image. Now let's add some more detail inside here. So after that I will add the h2 tag, and here we'll put the comments. Comment, oh sorry, the item dot comment text. Okay, and let's see whether we are getting here. See, okay, let me put our window in this way. Next, let's bring this in one line. So class name, make it flex, we'll give item to me in the center, and we'll give gap of 3. Then also we'll make the width to be full. Okay, and for this h2 tag let's add a class name, then we'll make biggie slate 100, padding of 2, and rounded lg. See, perfect. Next we need to add the button. Okay, so we add the 3 dot button. Okay, that will help us if you want to delete the button, we can give option there. So here we can just write the more vertical from the lucid icon. See, like this. So 3 dots. Okay, and let's add the class name, make it flex, we'll make justify, it's already justified between, so that's fine, and we'll give padding of 3, then we'll add the border, we'll make border rounded large, and then margin to 2. See, okay, now here this is how we can show the comments. Let's add one more thing, which is item to be in the center. See, okay, so we'll add class name. Here I will add height of 5, width of 5, and then cursor pointer. Okay, so obviously once we click on this one, we will show the option to delete it, but that we will do it later on in this particular course. Okay, but this is how we can show the comments now. And if I open another comment, for example, let's open this comment. See, now let's add this comment for this one. Okay, this is sample comment to check. Okay, now right now comments number is 3. If I push this one, the comment is 4. If I open this one, now see, your comment is showing in the list. Okay, so this is how we can show the list of comments for any of this particular post. Okay, so I hope you understand this, that how to display the comments, okay, which with the help of the API. Okay, and just need to understand how we populate the nested documents, okay, with the help of this nested populate method from this mongoose only. Okay, so I hope you understand one. So we guys see you in the next section. So in this section we are going to delete the comment which we have. Okay, for example, in this example, if you want to delete this one, right, we will give option over here. Once we click on this 3 dots icon, and then we will give option to delete this particular uh, comment from the post. Okay, so for that one, let's go back to our the server backend code, where we need to add the delete endpoint. So inside the route we have this comment route, and over here we'll implement the delete route. Okay, so in order to add, we have to add router dot delete. Okay, so because we want to delete this particular comment, and here we'll give endpoint like slash, and we'll provide the comment id. Okay, then we have async request comma result. Now once we let me add arrow function, and then we'll add the try catch block. So let me copy this existing try catch block. I will clean this one. And now here first thing we need to get is comment id. So we'll add comment, get the comment id from the request dot params dot comment id. So this comment id we get it. Then in order to delete the comment, we need to add constant. For example, comment delete response is equal to, here we need to add comment dot find by id and delete. Okay, and here you need to provide the value from which you can delete. For in this case, for example, if I provide underscore id and then provide the comment id. Okay, the underscore id, because if you see inside the comment, right, we have this all comment is uniquely identified by this underscore id. Okay, so that's the reason we selected underscore id. And once we delete it, we will just write the deleted post information. So I will add 201 dot json and we'll add comment deleted response. Okay, so this is how you can easily add the delete functionality. If you want to delete with some other id, you can do this, or you can do find one and then you can pass this value. Okay, now let's test this out. So go to the our router.rest and add here as a delete. So we need to add 3 stack, and then where we will add delete http//localhost comment. Okay, and here you need to provide the comment id. So let me get the comment id, the existing comment id. Okay, so for example, let's delete this comment id which is ending with the 732, and I will pass it here. Okay, that's it. And if I make the request, right now it's saying the converting a circular structure some error. Okay, let's check it out why, and make sure we are running, our localhost is running. That's good. So let's test this out, what's the issue. So okay, so here we need to add the await. Okay, and then this will fix the issue. Okay, because we are using async function, and that's the reason. Now let's try this out. Let's save this one and let's make the request, and if you see, we got the response, successful response, which is deleted one, which is 732. Now let's go back here and just refresh it. Right now there are 16 there are 16 comments. See, let's refresh this. So I refresh it and now it's changed to 15, and the one which we deleted is no longer in this particular document. Perfect. So our endpoint is working fine. Now let's go back to our application. Okay, and where we want to implement this one. So I will go to this app, and inside the utils, I will add, inside the global API, I will add that endpoint. So we'll say delete comment, we'll add constant delete comment is equal to data, not data, it's just a comment id which we need to pass Axios client, and in this case we need to select the delete, okay, method, and then comment slash, and we'll add the comment id here, and make sure to export this delete comment and save this one. Okay, perfect. Now inside the route where we have this item or a post item, okay, sorry, inside the comment list, because once we open the comment list we have this more vertical. Okay, now this thing very important here, we need to show this delete option only to the user's comment. Okay, the current user comment. For example, in this case, if you see, I'm the not the user. Okay, I'm this particular user, and this is the someone's different comment. Obviously we cannot have option to delete for that comment. Only comment which we posted, okay, or user posted, only that comment he can delete. So to do that, we need to make sure that this comment is belong to the user's comment. Okay, so first thing we need to do is to get the id who created it. Okay, so let me check here. Okay, so obviously we need the user detail information. Let me get it here directly. So constant user detail comma set user detail is equal to use state. So not use state, use context, and then from that one we'll add the user detail context. So we'll get the user details. Okay, next we'll check here with the condition if item dot created by question mark dot underscore id is equal to user detail dot underscore id. If it matches, then only show this vertical. Okay, so I will put that directly and add operation, and I will show it. Okay, so only if this user that this condition matches, then only we'll show this icon. Let's check it out. Okay, so I go back here. So if you see it's only one icon, that's fine. So if I go here, okay, still it's showing these three icons, so our logic is not working as expected. Actually just refresh it. Okay, sometimes we got error, and let's check it out. So okay, this is fine. And okay, and if you see we don't have that three icon for the some others comment. Okay, perfect, that is, it means it working. Now let's go to this comment list, and here, so right now we need to show some popover option. Okay, so if I go to this chat CN UI, and there is one option called popover. Okay, and this is how example is. If I click on it, it will show this beautiful pop-up option. Okay, so same thing we're gonna implement in this case. So just install this popover. Okay, so let me add it here, and then copy this particular import statement. Okay, inside the comment list component. So inside the comment list I will paste it here, and then to use it, this is how simply you can use it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I will paste this pop over here, and this more vertical option I will keep inside this open one. See, okay, so and I will wrap this curly braces like this and save it. And now let's test this out how it looks. So if I open this one, let me refresh it. Okay, this one, and if I click on this one, and if you see, we got this beautiful pop-up. Okay, only thing you need to do is to add change this to trash or something like this. Okay, so what I am going to add here, so instead of, so yeah, we have this trigger here, and we need to show this button to delete it. So I will just add this button, and we'll add the trash icon, and after that I'm gonna add delete and save it. Let me bring this so that we can test out. See, okay, then let me set this first. Then we will need to mark this button as full width. So class name will be full width, and then I will gonna give gap. We'll make flex gap of 2, and obviously I will make the variant to be outline like this. Okay, and then on hover effect, so if I hover on it, see, this is how it looks. Okay, so that is perfect. Okay, and once we click on this one, we're gonna call on delete comment method. Oh sorry, this need to be on click here, and then we will call on delete method. Okay, and here we need to pass the item. Okay, the item which we want to delete. Now over here, let's add the constant is equal to constant on delete comment like this. Okay, and I think everything is look good. Okay, yeah, and just accept the item over here. Okay, now once we have here, we need to call our API call. Okay, so we can just call global API dot delete comment. Here we need to pass ID, so item, or we can call, instead of item, you can call comment, more meaningful name. So comment dot underscore ID dot then and the response, and we'll say if the response is we get the successful response, we can show the toast message. Okay, so I will add constant toast is equal to use toast, uh, use toast, and we'll say toast, and inside that we show title, which is we can say deleted, and we'll add the description, comment deleted successfully. Okay, perfect, and everything's look good. Let's save it and let's go back here. Let me open it and let me click delete. Okay, now it's saying this deleted successfully, but it's still showing here, right? So but if I refresh it now, and if you see for this cost, we don't have that particular comment, see. Okay, so we have to make sure once we delete it, we will also remove it from our existing list. Okay, because we cannot refresh it there. So what we can do, let me add one more comment to delete. I will send this one. Now we have one comment, see. Now here before this delete, okay, we can add the constant result is equal to, we need to make the comment list data and we need to filter it out. Okay, so what we can do, I will put this comment list in one state. So I will add constant, we'll say comment list data comma set comment list data is equal to use state, and we'll just pass the default value as a comment list because we already have comment list. Just I will use this comment list over here, nothing will get changed except we will use this comment list data to filter it out. Okay, so filter, it's a item, and here I will just say item dot underscore id is not equal to comment dot underscore id. Okay, and then we will set the comment list data with the filtered value like this, and then obviously it will delete it in background. Okay, and then save it. Now if you want to test, okay, let me add one more comment, second comment to test. Okay, now we have let me refresh it, I don't know, yeah, we have two comments. Now if you want to delete this comment, see, if I delete it, see, it's gone from this list as well. Okay, so this is how you can do it, but here still the count is showing two comments. Okay, so obviously you need to get that updated list. Okay, the way we did it for this like button, okay, or comment button. So simply you can call it here maybe update. Let me check the name of the method which we call for the other one, so which is yeah, update post list. Okay, so simply we will call update post list method over here. So obviously this method will trigger or we will pass back to the parent component, and then from here we will get it from post item, so where we have this comment list, and inside comment list I passes the user detail from this component. Okay, and update post list like this I will add. Okay, and save it. Now we'll test this out. So we have one comment, let's delete this comment, and if I delete it, see, this at the background it also updated so beautifully, right? So let me add new comment to delete here. Okay, now we have four comments. If I go here and if I want to delete this one, okay, and if you delete it, and if you see, the value is showing 3, and that's how you can update immediately. Okay, so guys, I hope you understand this particular section to how can you delete any data from the MongoDB. Okay, and with the help of this beautiful functionality of deleting the comment. So guys, if you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section, and we are stopping here. Okay, as this is, we can say, the part 1 of this particular course. uh in this course is obviously usually for to understand the MERN stack development. Okay, how can we implement the connect the MongoDB with the React with the help of Express, and how we implemented the CRUD operation like update, insert, or to delete. okay, or to create a new post or new document inside the MongoDB. So this is all about this particular course. So guys, if you want to learn or you want to expand this application furthermore, let me know in the comment section. And if you if you get the 1,000 likes for this particular video, I will definitely make a second video to expand this application, to add this community option, okay, which is very interesting option which we want to add in the future, and a lot of more things. Okay. So guys, if you still did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe and share this with your friends and family, and press like button please. We'll get 1,000 likes so that I can come up with the second part of this particular video. Okay, so see you in the next course.